Welcome back to the Prairie View Cricket Complex, Prairie View, Texas. Field number one, match number two. This one featuring the two teams, Texas Legends and the DC Titans. Once again, this is the second match being played on the day. This is the fifth edition of the Houston Women's Open 2026. Texas Legends winning the toss, choosing to have a bowl under relatively cloudy skies, but for the time being, the weather gods have been kind to us. We're looking to have a decent day here the rest of the way. Brian Walters here with you. Welcome back, Mr. Digvijay Mohapatra. Good afternoon, DJ.
Good afternoon, Brian. We had a very exciting first game. Thank God the weather gods, they stayed with us that game. And the next game here, we have Texas Legends and DC Titans.
Gonna be an interesting game. Nikardoshi, young, exciting player. I've seen her all over the place, and I really like her as an opening bat. We'll see what she's able to do. The DC Titans will be looking to have a relatively fast start here. Her partner is going to be Meghna Baishya, and between the two of them, under the current circumstances, relatively dry, you'd think they'll be looking for something resembling a fast start here.
Definitely, they would like to attack the bowlers and would like to capitalize in the first power play. And while we're talking about the batters, just have a quickly look at the playing 11 for DC Titans, led by Captain Adya Rawat, Aradhya Kaushal, Arna Leksham Prabhu, Akshara Patibandla, Anahita Mohan, Dhriti Chamakura, Meghna Baishya, Nikhar Doshi, Nishkar Ramineni, Sahiti Mogula, Sanvi, and Tanushree.
Umpires, Myron James and Rohan Witherspoon. Myron James from right here in Houston. Rohan Witherspoon from north of the border in Canada. Underway. Very full and driven into the offside, no run.
Nikhar Doshi has a reputation of being a top hitter, kind of pretty aggressive, plays with an aggressive intent. Be interesting to see what would be her approach today. We saw in the beginning, in the morning today, there wasn't much bounce being offered on this pitch. And we see like a decent mid-sized roller being rolled on the pitch during the break.
You see Tara Arvind Kumar. See her record there. Very impressive young bowler. And you talked about what the rolling, what the preparation was like. What are your thoughts about the overall conditions? The ground, the outfield, what are you expecting?
Having seen the Pv1 pitch, like traditionally, the pitch doesn't deteriorate. I've played some 40-45 over games here, weeks, and the pitch doesn't change much throughout the day. And because they didn't use a heavy-sized roller, it was a pretty medium-sized roller that they used during the break. I believe like it's gonna stay pretty much consistent throughout the day.
Both of these players, Nikhar Doshi and Meghna Baishya, have played at the highest level. I don't know, off the top of my head, I don't recall whether Nikhar Doshi has been actually representing the U.S., but she's been in and around the setup for a very long time. And of course, Meghna Baishya, you'd have seen on her portrait picture earlier before the inning started, she was wearing her USA Cricket shirt. So both of them, excellent batters, excellent fielders, really an asset to U.S. cricket. This one's still staying just a little bit low. So 4 dot balls to start here. And the DC Titans off to a relatively sluggish start so far.
Yep. Yeah, I remember, Brian, commentating a few of the games with you back in 2024 in Dallas,
Yep.
Grand Prairie, where I saw Nikhar Doshi and her immense talent there during the U.S. Inter-Regional Nationals Women's Tournament. Driven down the ground, straight to the
Played
fielder.
into the short mid-on area. It's going to be a dot, so 5 straight dots to start the innings. to the extent that you want to limit the damage inside the power play overs. I think you've started out very well here at Texas Legends. Again, winning the toss and choosing to bowl. And so far, Tara Arvind Kumar making this look like a very good decision.
Nicely driven down the ground.
Through the offside, and it's going to run away through the covers for 4. Excellent shot from the Cardoshi. Spoils what was a really good over with a boundary.
That was hit like a trace of a bullet. And nicely driven down the ground. Opened the face of the bat nicely. Playing in the line of the ball. And for the end of the first over, it's a 4 without any wicket.
So 4 without loss. Good first over from Tara Arvind Kumar, spoiled with that luscious cover drive by Nikardoshi. So the second over now to be bowled by Inaya Haider. Bowling from the forest end, the northern end of the ground here in Prairie View. Very little wind. And it's because there's very little wind that I had to take my undershirt off not too long ago here in the Houston area, even though we're nowhere near the hottest time of the year. It's actually already pretty hot and sticky.
Yeah, feels like Houston, truly. So.
Left arm over the wicket. That line needs to be much closer to the offside, though. See the first wide of the day.
The first wide of the day. Yeah, I mean, for a lot of our viewers, I would say, like, don't be kind of surprised by the weather anecdote that we just mentioned. You might not see sun, but it's still pretty humid out here.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Pretty humid out here.
You talked about playing 40 and 45 over matches here. Another one down the leg side. But in the summer, when I used to live here and I used to play, at that time it was 40 over matches. There was no T20 back then. And I will tell you, you can lose 5 pounds of sweat just getting through a 40 over match. It is absolutely oppressive. And for these youngsters who, for example, this team is from DC, this does not feel like DC. Even though, again, we're probably 3 months away from it being the hottest time of the year here in the southeast Texas area, it is still plenty hot and humid. 3 consecutive balls down the leg side. She will have to fix this line. Inaya Haider.
Yeah, she's pulling with a good, decent amount of pace, I'd say. Only thing is she has to get hold of her line. She's getting some movement there. Yeah, I mean, as they say here, the Houston weather is always tricky. Sometimes you don't expect rain and there'll be rain suddenly, and you don't expect sun and there'll be sun shining on your eyes.
Switches to go around the wicket. Oh, in the air and put down. Oh, my goodness. Every once in a while, if you have several wides, it is always often the case that the first good ball takes a wicket. That one should have taken a wicket.
Funny, I don't think there would be any other easier chance of catch as compared to that one. That was a dolly. Butterfingers, I would say. Pretty early in the innings, so yeah, a lot of times that happens.
Played around the leg side this time. Nobody down there will run away for 4.
Yeah, as he flicked off the pads, it was a nice leg glance, I would say. Nicely executed, and with that boundary, Meghna opens her account. Look at the replay here. Yep, very nicely executed. She saw there was no fine leg there. Played it off the pads. Pretty strong off her pads there, Meghna Baisya.
Well, I'll tell you, if she could get the line right, Inaya Haider, she is the perfect bowler. Left arm over the wicket. If she's able to get the line right from over the wicket, she's generating good in-swing. And so from over the wicket, you're much more dangerous as an in-swing bowler. From around the wicket, swinging it down the leg side, it becomes a much more difficult ball to face. That's better, and that line is one that she'll have to face. So have to keep, as I should say.
Yep, she has to bowl to her field. I see a pretty strong offside field she has, and that's the line she has to stick to. She has a first slip, a backward point, short cover, and mid-off.
Appeal. Umpire Myron James raises his finger. So the first wicket goes down. 11 on the board. Meghna Bhatia has been dismissed. Scores 11 for 1.
That's exactly, Brian, what you just called. If she gets that line right, she'll be very lethal, and looks like that's what happened. She put it in the right spot, and as we look at the replay here, that looks pretty tight, but I think
it's tight. There's no question it's tight.
the umpire had a good look at it, and I think they are the best educator or the judge of that delivery.
That's a very good point. Our camera is not directly over the bowler's arm, so we are at a bit of an angle. From our angle, you could probably make the argument that it looks like it's possibly slipping down or maybe clipping leg stump. But umpire Myron James, I saw him before the innings started with the spray painting his spot on the ground where he stands, which is directly behind the stumps and in line with the stumps. So he has the best option or the best angle to be able to adjudicate officially on those. So that is one wicket down. A big one. Meghna Bhatia has been dismissed. New batter in now is Adir Rawat, the captain.
Adir Rawat comes in with a big reputation.
Stroked into the offside, no run. Tell me more about her reputation.
Adir Rawat known to have like a clean striking ability, and she plays the ball under her eyes really well. She's a good striker of the ball, plays ground shots. From what I've seen in the past, she's not much into big shots. She can, but early in the innings, she plays under her eyes, each ball on her merit. Perfectly technical batsman, a technical batter. Eventually, we'll have to see here how she capitalizes. As a dead ball.
Adir Rawat from Ashburn, Virginia, right-handed batter and a leg spinner, captain of the side. And she knows that her team has wobbled just a bit. A couple of boundaries, but struggling just a little bit. Another shot for leg before. A loud, sustained appeal. Umpire Myron James is unmoved. That is the end of an exciting over. Let's take a look at this replay again.
See a lot of movement in the air, and that was a very good decision, I would say. The ball swung a lot and eventually was going down the leg. And Haider was pretty much convinced she was jumping in the air.
I mean, look where the keeper is. The keeper is basically short, fine leg.
Yeah.
So that ball is definitely swinging down the leg side.
Very good decision by the umpire.
For me, if I am Inaya Haider, I would go back over the wicket. I would aim at the 6th or 7th stump. And if I miss there, at least it comes back onto, off stump or middle stump. Because that type of delivery from over the wicket is an LBW shout.
Definitely. Any day that's a lethal delivery for any right-handed batsman from a left-arm bowler. Left-arm fast bowler. Tara coming back into the attack from southern end.
Hammered down the ground, and that will be 4. Nikardoshi with anger on her mind. That is drilled down the ground.
Nikardoshi, as I mentioned, she has a reputation of being a strong hitter. Any ball, given any kind of opportunity or width, she'll go for it. We look at the replay. That was hit pretty hard.
Umpire Rohan Witherspoon having to take evasive action. That was struck firmly. Absolutely drilled down the ground by Nikardoshi.
Second boundary for Nikardoshi. She quickly moves to a score of 8. Slight adjustment in the field by the skipper. They move the short mid-wicket to more straight.
Very full this time. Looking for the Yorker, that one outside the line of off stump. So Cardoshi only able to play it away into the offside. So you conceded. Oh, it was a no ball and a free hit. I missed that live. She overstepped. So that will not make her captain feel any better about the first delivery because she followed up the half volley with a genuine overstep for no ball. Here comes a free hit. This is the last batter that you want to concede a free hit to. Skied, it will fall safely. It doesn't matter if it falls. Obviously, it's a free hit, so she would not have been dismissed anyway.
Yeah, didn't quite get the connection. The length was eventually pretty avid, as we see, like it was bowled as a good length ball. Didn't quite connect. Just a single there.
So Tara Arvind Kumar starting out relatively expensively in this over. 6 runs from the first 2 legal balls. But that's a better delivery. Adira Watt just now getting started, of course. Has not yet gotten off the mark. 3 balls faced, no run scored.
Adira Watt yet to open her account. They have a deep mid-wicket boundary. Pretty interesting field.
Very far outside the line of off stump. And this one adjudged to be the 4th wide of the innings.
Yeah, I wonder when she's bowling that length, having a deep mid-wicket is kind of surprising. Unless you're going for a short of length delivery or a body line delivery. It's probably because of the repetition Adira Rawat carries. She's a 360 player. She plays all around the ground. Again, nice long stride forward. Solid defense. No run there.
Say more about that field position. You say that fielder at deep mid-wicket is wasted with the line and length that the bowler is bowling.
So eventually I see like what Tara is trying to do is she's trying to bowl more in the offside and the length is kind of more fuller. So with that length and that line, I feel like, there's no need for that deep mid-wicket. Unless the batter is kind of playing a slog there. Which doesn't look the case. And another dot ball there. No run there. Eventually didn't quite capitalize. She was trying to play a big heave or hammer the ball but didn't quite connect.
Well, on balance, you'd have to give the opening couple of rounds here to the Texas Legends. But having taken a wicket, they'd want to make further inroads into this batting lineup. Adira Watt has not yet gotten off the mark. Nikardoshi, very dangerous. She's at the non-striker's end, striking it at 100 strike rate, 9 from 9. Oh, this is coming toward you and me, and it's going to be 4. That is really not the best of lines to bowl, and that one going down the leg side will always result in runs.
Eventually, very nicely executed and very well capitalized. As we look at the replay here, it was way down the leg side, nicely swept away. There was no fine leg fielder. Very nicely executed, and with that boundary, Adira Rawat opens her account.
So that's the end of 3. 22 for 1 after 3. So 22 runs on the board, 3 overs in the books. And the very dangerous Nikardoshi is back on strike. This will be the first time that she's facing from this end, meaning with her at the southern end and the bowler coming from the north. The bowler is going to be Inaya Hyder.
Yeah, for me,
And again, bowling around the wicket, as I said earlier, I really would have preferred to have seen her bowling over the wicket.
this is going to be a great contest in Haider versus Nikhar Doshi because Nikhar, she has an intent of going after the bowlers and targeting the main bowlers basically. She has that reputation. It'll be interesting to see what would be her approach against Inaya Haider.
Note that there is a fielder at deep backward square leg. And that type of delivery is the one that brings that deep backward square leg into play. It's swinging into the batter from around the wicket. Once again, at the risk of repeating myself, this is the last time I'll say it probably. That same delivery from over the wicket is a much more dangerous delivery.
Yep, I completely agree. I mean, as we see, there's a lot of lateral movement in that delivery. She's generating some good amount of pace and swing. Maybe if she comes from the other side.
Now, given the fact that the first three deliveries that she bowled were all three wides from over the wicket, that would be the reason why she switched to bowling around the wickets. But for me, I just at least want to try a couple more. If you go back over the wicket, spray a few more down the leg side, then fine. Let's just stay from her around the wicket the rest of the time. But she's a much more dangerous bowler with generating that much swing from over the wicket.
Yeah, nice wrist position. Nice release of the seam.
Oh, that is well played. That is expertly done. Oh, just short of the boundary at deep backward point, but that was such an elegant shot. Played for a couple of runs.
Very nicely executed. Some width of it. It was a half volley. It was outside the off stump. Reaching for the ball. Very nicely executed. Long stride forward. Square drive. Perfect execution. Adding 2 runs to her tally. Adya Rawat looking very solid. Nice head, toe, chin position, everything in line.
Certainly, you love the shot that you just saw. And more to the point, talked about playing the ball directly under your nose. That's what you just saw, and that's certainly what you'd want to have them keep doing.
And if you just have a look at the previous ball, a relatively more quicker batter speed, and looks like she probably heard you, Brian. She just changed her side, and this time a slight change in the field as well. And now
Oh my goodness, yes, please. Again, try a couple from there. And if you are still having trouble finding the right line, fine. You cry uncle and then say I'll just operate from around the wicket. But she's so much a better bowler from that spot. In the air, I'll tell you what, she'll give up 4, but that's not far away from getting a wicket. Fortuitous boundary off the edge for Adra or what?
this is how I see it. I mean, that was a very good delivery. I believe the field placement could have been a little better if she was bowling from that end. And as we see, look at the replay, yeah. See, the ball was in the air, and if the gully fielder was a slightly
Yes.
more finer, that would have been an opportunity for a catch.
I think lesson learned, and I see her moving a fielder from the leg side onto the offside, and I love this move. So you strengthen the area behind square on the offside, stay over the wicket, continue to create that angle going across the batter. That for me is a much, much better setup. And now I'd want to see the gully move a little bit finer, because that ball goes right in that same direction again. Lovely shot. That is racing across the ground close to the boundary, and a couple more runs. So it ends up being a relatively expensive over, 9 runs coming from it, but I think she should feel better about that over in Aya Haider than her first. End up over number 4 at 31 for 1.
Yeah, definitely. At least she got her rhythm back from where she was bowling back-to-back wides. And if you talk about that shot in the last delivery, that was a really good shot. The ball was coming in. She just stayed close to that ball, waited till the last moment, played it under her nose. It, the onside region, nicely flicked. Using the pace of the delivery. Yeah, as we look at the replay here. Yep.
Oh,
Nicely
that's
flicked over.
risky, isn't it? That was the typical subcontinent shot. All wrist. That was a thing of beauty.
Yep. Shades of the great Muhammad Azharuddin.
Ah,
See here.
oh, we're just rolling back the clock in this whole conversation. So 4 overs in the books. 7.75 is your scoring rate. The projected score based on that scoring rate is 155. And now a new bowler coming from the highway end. It's going to be Srinidhi Sagiraju.
Yeah, it's the first bowling change. You see Srinidhi coming from the southern end. Nikadoshi on strike. He's batting on 9 of 10 deliveries.
Played away square, and it's through the gap, and it's running close to the boundary, and in fact gets there now.
There was some good amount of pace in that delivery, and she just used the pace very nicely, as we see here. From her wrist movement, generating some good amount of pace. There was width of it. The ball was outside off stump. Played it in the gap. Yep. Nicely executed.
Lovely shot, too. That ball was swinging away from her. She just angled the bat Nikardoshi and cashed in on really what was a very, very productive shot. Now up to 13 from 11. Both batters striking it at a rate above 100. Adira, what, 12 from 11?
Yeah, that was a third boundary for Nikadoshi. She's batting at a strike rate of 118 at the moment. A dot ball there. She's trying to play in the square region and quite connect. A hint of late swing in that delivery.
Well, you're almost in the position now where you're thinking, okay, there's just 10 balls remaining inside the power play. How can I capitalize? Smashed, and it will go away for 4.
That was hit like a trace of bullet. Basically, as we see here, she was on the top of that ball, waited for that ball, heaved it in the square region. No field placement there. Look at the replay. Yep. Nicely executed, as we see here in the replay. Hit from the sweetest spot of the bat.
Boy, when she strikes it, she is a really wonderful player, Nikardoshi. And it is really pleasing to the eyes. She's a proper batter, as evidenced by the fact that she can play with the swing, get the ball in the areas that she needs to. But if she wants to hit big, she can absolutely do that. Changing the field now. Sweeper out in the position where that ball just went. Short, slapped over the top of backward square. Beats the sweeper. 4 more.
It's the third boundary of this over. Nikadoshi living up to her reputation. Looking very dangerous here. As I said, she's getting some lateral movement, Srinidhi, and she needs to have a fielder there. As we look at the replay, it was almost hit in the same region.
Well, the thing is, there are 2 fielders in the deep behind square. Actually, 2 fielders in the deep on the offside. 1 deep third and a sweeper. But you can't put fielders everywhere. And to be frank, these deliveries are entirely too wide. They start wide and are swinging away wider. So the idea is to get it closer to the stumps, make her have to play with a straight bat. Once again, it's a little too wide and absolutely cashed in again. The 4th boundary of the over by Nikardoshi.
Absolutely on top of that delivery. Long stride forward. And how good was the contact of the bat? We'll have a close look at the replay. A treat to the eyes. Look at that shot again.
So, especially during the power play, as you see the replay, look at this. Swinging away, and she plays with the swing, Nikardoshi. That is really brilliant stuff. And very defensive. The best ball of the over is the last. End of over number 5. It was an expensive one. The score after 5 is 47 for 1.
Kardoshi quickly moving to the score of 25 of just 15 deliveries, 6 boundaries already for her. She scored most of her runs in boundaries now. Only 1 single for her and 6 boundaries.
Insane.
Her partner at the other end, Adya Rawat, batting at 12, 2 boundaries for her. It would be interesting to see if the skipper brings her back herself into the attack again, because that was an expensive over.
Well, they certainly have some work to do here. The Texas Legends, once again, choosing to bowl first. And you got through the first over excellently. Just 4 runs conceded in that first over. But since then, 4-3 from the next 4 tells you that you have conceded way more runs than you should have. Overall scoring rate for the innings is 9.4. 9.4 for the innings projects to a score of 188. I think that will be entirely too expensive. So you're going to have to rely now on Akshara Anand, who's into the attack for the first time, to help pull things back.
And to be honest, I'm not even surprised with that run rate at the moment with Kardoshi at the crease. Because she's a natural striker of the ball. Any opportunity she sees, she'll capitalize on it. And that's what she has done so far. Any loose deliveries, any width offered in the off-stump region, she's gone for it. Skipper Adya Rawat on strike right now. Akshara Anand will be coming from the northern end. Slight adjustment in the field. They have a deep square leg. The nice long stride forward, good solid defense, nice delivery to start with.
It's a good ball. No width. And that length was sort of that in-between length. Too full to play a cross-batted shot, but too short to drive, if that makes sense. So a really good start with the ball here for Akshara Anand.
That will be the last over of the power play. And open the face of the bat in the square region, in the gap of gully and backward point. And just a single there.
This
Nice.
is really high-level batting, just opening the face. So this pair can hit big. That's obvious. Partnership now up to 37. But it's, for me, the ability to play the moving ball. That ball was swinging away. She opened the face to get it in that gap between backward point and gully. Unfortunate for her that the outfield is relatively thick, so that ball didn't get what it really deserved. Or that shot didn't get what it deserved, which is to have gone for 4.
Rightly called. So Brian is batting at the highest level, reading the length and line of the ball, watching it till the last moment, waiting for the ball to swing, and then opening the face of the bat. Slight adjustment in the field. She's sending the short cover back to the sweeper cover region. Kardoshi on strike now. And this time played it over the cover region, but this time they had protection over there. Just a single there.
It's interesting. You highlight that move to put a deep extra cover in position, and that's exactly where that ball went. So maybe the idea is if we bowl full and wide to Kardoshi and get her playing on the offside, then she doesn't hurt us going down the ground or on the leg side. And at least based on the evidence from that one ball, that's not a bad plan.
And this time down the leg, wide signal by the umpire. And I believe, yes, they will be going with that plan as long as Nikardoshi is on the crease. They'll be going with that plan with her keeping a fielder outside off and bowling her slightly full, the middle and off region.
Incidentally, that wide bringing up the 50. So very fast start. Continues scoring at the rate of 9.09. 3 balls remaining in the power play.
Nicely bowled. At the last moment, adjusting the speed of her bat, Adya Rawat. The way she reached out to that ball, it looked like she's going to go for it. Eventually adjusting the speed of the bat at the last moment. Sign of a great batter. Outside the off stump, wide signal by umpire.
Saw a lot of wides in the first match this morning. And so far in this innings, you are still 4 balls, make that 2 balls remaining in over number 6, already 6 wide. So more than a wide and over, along with 2 additional extras and no ball in the leg by. So that's entirely too many extras so far.
That was a pretty tight length. Ball in the right spot. No width offered. Good comeback after that wide delivery from Akshara Anand. 1 ball remaining in this over.
It's a really good power play so far. After the over, maybe we'll go through what they've done so far inside the power play, but really good stuff from this pair.
Sam played it in the air again. It's in the third man region and another boundary. And finished the power play with the boundary there. Very well capitalized.
Boundary number 10. Look at this delivery outside the off stump. A bit of a false shot. A taller gully could potentially have been in play there, but the ball racing away down the hill. So a really fast start. 8 runs coming from that over. 55 from the power play. And this partnership now worth 44. So this pair of Nikardoshi and Adya Rawat looking very dangerous all the way through the power play. End of 6, 55 for 1.
Yeah, hitting with a run rate of 9 runs and over. They couldn't have asked for more, the DC Titans team. Be interesting like how they fare and play against a spin right now after the first power play. Nikardoshi showing her immense ball striking ability in this match. Adya Rawat on the other end also looking solid. Scored 17 with 3 boundaries so far. And looks like there's a change in the bowling. They are bringing a spinner right now.
Bit of a break. And so that gives us time to remind you that the chat on the YouTube channel is open. If you wanted to pass along some comments, we'd be more than happy to receive them. If you wanted to join in the conversation, if you have anything to contribute about any one of the players or about any one of the teams, or if you simply want to know how hot is it out here, we're more than happy to have those conversations, especially given that there's a bit of a break in the action and we don't mind. Look, I really like this guy sitting to my right, but every once in a while it's good to talk to somebody else as well.
Kind of, you made me chuckle at that one, Brian. But I think I would say let's keep our focus on the game for now.
Well, there is no game right now. A bit of a delay. But we will see exactly how to progress from here. Because getting through power play, scoring at a rate of 9.17, projects to a score of 183. If Nikardoshi is able to bat deep into this innings, 183 may be the lower end of where they could potentially end up. So it's going to be that much more important for the Texas Legends, having won the toss, to be able to pull things back. When I say having won the toss, they chose to bowl. So obviously they would have preferred, or at least they favored the conditions and looked to make maybe a couple of quick strikes. That has not happened. Lost one wicket, but the DC Titans have gotten away at the rate of over 9 and over, and it's now going to be up to you to pull things back. Looking at a couple of highlights here. LBW decision was an interesting one. And the Nikardoshi from here, it will be the Nikardoshi show. Really looks good and has done really well throughout. That shot through extra cover, to me, was one of the better ones that you've seen all day. That one right there. And on balance, I think you've seen a lot of evidence that she is going to be one of the more key linchpins for the DC Titans going forward.
There's a change in the bowling. The bowler coming into the attack is Suhasini Prakash from the southern end. There was a long discussion going on. I wonder what the discussion was about with the bowling side's captain, the umpire and the captain, having a long chat there. Starts off with a dot ball. No run there.
So Suhasini Prakash, who's bowling from the highway and the southern end of the ground.
Again, keeping it around the middle and off stump line. Keeping it really tight there, Suhasini Prakash. Nikardoshi is batting on 26 at the moment. A deep mid and a long one. Then Nikardoshi steps down and beaten in the air. Very well bowled by Suhasini Prakash. Getting the better of the batter here.
That is a big one. That is Nikardoshi. Induced her with the flighted delivery. Nikardoshi coming down the track, not getting anywhere near the bat. In fact, not getting the bat on the ball at all. And a pretty simple stumping in the end. That is a brilliant, brilliant piece of bowling. And she gets rid of the dangerous Nikardoshi.
I would say that's champion stuff from Suhasini Prakash. She invited the batsman to come forward and kind of like go at it. Nicely executed as we look at nice drift, nice spin. And the ball didn't turn. It was more of a top spin, kind of a wrong one. Dusra as we see. Very nicely executed by Suhasini Prakash and very well collected by the wicketkeeper. Full points there to her.
That was beautifully done. I believe the keeper is Arna Kalapala. By the way, we requested comments, and the first comment is in from Manasa Ramineni. So proud of our DC girls and look forward to seeing what they accomplish at this tournament. I will tell you, you're probably a little bit less proud now, Manasa, because Nikardoshi is back in the pavilion, but she did give them a very fast start. And so from where you are now, maybe the idea is to build on this fast start, but new batter is in.
Yeah, and the new batter at the crease. She starts off with a big shot, hammered to the mid-wicket region. The new batter is Dhriti Chamakura. With that single, she opens her account. Suhasini Prakash nicely executing her length and her pace. That was a peach of a delivery to get rid of. Nikardoshi was looking very dangerous. That was way outside the off-stump, white signal by the umpire.
That is a brilliant piece of bowling, and you as a spinner yourself, leg spinner for you, off spinner for her, would appreciate the guile that it took to get that wicket.
It takes a lot of courage, especially for a batter who was looking so dangerous. And we saw the intent there as well. She was trying to go after her, and she invited her, brought her forward, beat her in the air. The ball didn't turn. It was more of a top spin, a dusra, I would say. Good variation there. Again, another flighted delivery. Staying on the back foot there, Adya Rawat. No run. And that's the end of a great over from Suhasini Prakash. Only 2 runs considered of that over. And the important wicket of Nikardoshi. And after the end of 7 overs, DC Titans are now 57 for the loss. If you look at the replay there,
Oh, you are 100% right. That was the Dusra. It went away from the Cardoshi, and that is brilliant, brilliant bowling. What I like about that is that Nikardoshi essentially realized that she was defeated. She didn't even try to get back inside her crease. That gives you a measure of how good a delivery that was when you can take a top class player like Nikardoshi and completely outfox her in that way. Brilliant, brilliant stuff.
let me tell you, being a spinner, I can say that that needs a big heart actually to bowl those kind of deliveries. Like 8 out of 10 times, you'll get hit out of the park with like a batter of Nikardoshi who's looking so dangerous at the crease. But she took that chance. She invited her forward, induced her with that flight, and beaten her in the air.
I would never know what that's like as a spinner tossing the ball. I will happily admit to never having had that happen, but I can see where that would take a tremendous amount of confidence in your own abilities to be able to do that.
Extra Anand back into the attack. Starts off with a wide. Yeah, and it also does require an immense level of skill to get and execute that delivery right if you're bowling a Dusra, because if you bowl that ball not in the right area, or if it's not hitting the right length or the right spot, the ball can go out of the park anytime. The batter will hit you out of the park at any other day if that ball is not hitting the right spot. The control is very important in those kind of deliveries. Again, nicely bowled there by Extra Anand. No run there.
So the pendulum in the last couple of overs has swung back in the direction of the Texas Legends. There's no question, over number 7 only went for 2 runs, one of which was a wide and wicket taken. And of course, that wicket being the Cardoshi makes all the difference in the world. And starting out this over well here, Aksharanand.
Again, very well bowled. She's bowling into that wicket to wicket line. Keeping it really tight, no width offered.
Well, when you have confidence in your abilities, it makes such a difference in any sport, really in any activity, not just sports. But as a cricketer, as a bowler, confidence in your abilities can be so much of the difference maker.
So I'm dropping it a little short. Trying to pull that delivery, didn't quite connect. Then open her arms to execute that shot properly. Straight to the fielder in the short mid-wicket region. No run there.
I'll give the baseball analogy. The baseball analogy would be for a closer. They say closers have to have short memories.
Yeah.
And even if you get hit for 4 straight home runs, put it out of your mind and see what you do with the next ball. And that's some of what you see from these bowlers right now.
Nicely bowled again. Straight to the fielder in the point region. No run there. Good over so far. 4 dot balls and a wide. In the context of a T20 game, those dot balls builds immense amount of pressure on a batting unit.
I mean, such a difference. Maybe after this we'll talk about the projected scores.
Sam again playing it off the back foot. Slight misfield there. Now there's a good attempt, a single there.
Talk about dot balls and the impact that it has on the score. That was a single, so that broke the string of dots. But even now, the scoring rate is 7.53. Projected score 151. It's not too long ago we were saying if Nikardoshi stays there, they could score north of 180. So it makes such a big difference. Number 1, to get the big wicket of Nikardoshi, and then number 2, to follow that up with disciplined, tight bowling.
Yeah. Stamp played it in the air. So fielder there in the sweeper cover region, but she'll reach there in like a few steps. Fell a little shorter. The ball was in the air for a while. Just a single there. And that's the end of the 8th over. DC Titans are now 60 for the loss of 2 wickets. Brian, tell us more about that discipline that you spoke about. How much that can change the trajectory of a game when a bowling unit bowls back-to-back overs with that discipline in tandem.
You build pressure. Number one, you lose in the Cardoshi. All of a sudden, oh my goodness, we just lost a chance to score maybe 30 or 40 additional runs. Number two relatively new batters at the crease. ACU scorecard. Adi Rawat, 18 from 19, so she's striking it at a good strike rate. But Dhriti Chamakura has only gotten there 2 from 6. And so you're also thinking, okay, we lost Nakardoshi, and in the over where we lost her, we only scored 2 runs. And then the next over, we only scored 3. We were going at 9 and over before with the big partnership between Nakardoshi and Adi Rawat. That partnership put on 44 runs. So that tells me that you've now put the pressure back on the batting side. They were playing relatively carefree cricket, able to just sort of stroke the ball with authority. But much of that has been gone with the loss of the wicket and then with the follow-up of the good disciplined bowling.
Thanks for that analogy, Brian. As we see, like, again, there was a long discussion between the umpire and the captain of the fielding side. I'm very curious what that discussion is about. It was the second time we saw that discussion.
Going back to Suhasini Prakash, and what I love, top left of your screen, a slip fielder is in position. Keep that pressure on.
This time not getting the line correct. Good on the long side. Good chase for Inaya Haider. That was a very good throw. Be waiting for the umpire signal. Wide signal by umpire. There will be 3 runs there.
Well, that's how you give back the pressure. Or you take the pressure back on yourself and you let the other side off. Is by bowling a wide down the leg side that gives you 2 additional, essentially 3 free runs. That discipline needs to be right. The fielder at slip does not matter if you're not bowling the ball in the right areas.
It's a pretty interesting field position. It's almost like a third slip, not even a gully.
That's an interesting observation. I've never really liked that. To me, commit to where you want your fielder. And if it's going to be first slip, put them at first slip. If it's going to be gully, put them at gully. Right now, that fielder is essentially covering 2 or 3 positions. And you're sort of saying, okay, if I need you to dive all the way to your left or to your right. I would much prefer to have the bowler bowl a decent line and length, a consistent line and length, and then put the slip fielder in position where an edge would go to first slip as opposed to having them that wide. Because to me, in that position, they're in no man's land. So,
back into the attack now. I was bowled slightly shorter, but a little quicker after pitching at the skid of the pitch. So I have a slightly different perspective on that one. I believe if the bowler has utmost confidence, and especially with the delivery that she got Nikardoshi's wicket, if you're very confident about bowling in that right spot and right area. This was a full toss again, another loose delivery. I was talking about the confidence, but that can shatter a bowler's confidence definitely. So coming back to my point, what I was saying is, like, if you're pretty confident about getting that spot or bowling in that right area where you can generate that amount of revs in a ball, or if it's a wrong one or a dusra, there's a chance of catch that can go to that third slip or maybe close to a second slip. Maybe for that reason she's pretty confident of that exact spot where that fielder is.
if you're going to go on the attack, I would much prefer to see maybe one of these fielders who are in the deep on the leg side at first slip and have that third slip remain there. Because these 2 fielders here, to me, are wasted if you're going to consistently bowl outside the line of off stump. So take one of them, put them in another attacking position, put them at first slip, have your third slip, and then build pressure on the batters that way.
That's pretty right. That was bowled pretty tight, right in the end, offering no width to the batsman whatsoever. Only 6 runs Sorry, correction. 8 runs of that over. And after 9 overs, DC Titans are now 68 for the loss of 2 wickets.
Quick look at what the bowlers have done. One bowler has been very expensive, Srinidhi Sagiraju, but all the other bowlers I think have done well enough to keep the Texas Legends in the game. And speaking of Texas Legends, I have a legend sitting to now my immediate right. The individual who is responsible for everything that you're seeing on your screen now and everything else going on in this 5th edition of the Houston Women's Open. Or is it Women's Houston Open? Which one? Women's Houston Open. Miss Mitali, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Brian. Thank you for that. But no, nowhere close to any of that words like legends or anything. Just a little worker bee here, passionate about the game and passionate about growing the cricket for the girls and the women in this country. And I'm pretty sure since the morning game and the afternoon game, you're seeing a lot of talent here.
Seeing talent is not in any way surprising because the Houston tournaments always attract the best players from around the country. But what I would highlight is that you're seeing a lot of young talent. When you pull up in the parking lot this morning and I'm looking at the players, they're like, everybody here is like 13 years old.
No.
Okay, maybe not quite 13.
Let's not say that.
But they all look so young. So, in fact, after this ball, I'll ask you a question. A new bowler now into the attack is going to be Lasya Bandaru for her first ball of the day. Down the leg side, starts out with a wide. So my question to you is, how important is it to be able to have the youth, the young players, in addition to the more seasoned players, as part of this tournament?
I would say very important. The whole mission, the whole goal and objective of this tournament when it started in 2022, and I'm so proud to say that this is the 5th edition of Women's Houston Open, was to ensure that the younger girls are getting to rub shoulders with the senior ones and learning the game. They all train in their indoor academies or clubs, but to play a real game here on the beautiful turf wickets of Prairie View Cricket Complex, I think that experience cannot be compared to anything. So very important to have these girls combined of different age groups. Sometimes it's not fair, if you have like a 35, 40-year-old player and then you have a 13-year-old player. But ours is not that, the age difference is not that much. I think most of our girls, our average is 15 to 16. And then there are a few who are maybe 13. I always ensure that they're 13 plus. And they get to rub shoulders with the seniors. There are some of the USA players too.
So important. And as a matter of being able to encourage and foster growth and development, I can't think of any better way of doing it than throwing them in at the deep end with the older players and making them learn that way. Scoop shot being attempted. That's interesting. That's the first time that we've seen that shot being played all day. Adiaroa 21 from 24. Driti Chamakura 6 from 11. So you yourself have a player in this tournament. So talk to me for a minute about what it feels like to be the parent of a cricketer. And I know personally, from personal experience years ago, that is a really, really hard position to play.
Totally agree, Brian. It takes a lot to be a parent in the United States of America. A parent of a cricket player, especially the girls. Nothing against the boys. I'm pretty sure it's tough for them too. But, for the girls to come get committed, right? To make sure that they're committed to the sport. And it may not be cricket, but any sport. But cricket definitely, since it's not part of a sports curriculum in your high school, right? Or in the college. So the only way they can play the sport is by coming to these private tournaments and getting enough, getting a platform to practice enough. So yes, it is very difficult. When we started with our daughter, we definitely traveled with the boys' teams. We played travel ball, like just like travel ball. We played travel cricket and went to different cities and states, different grounds. A lot of them would be non-turf. And then once she grew up a little more, and then we started playing in Prairie View. Then now we have the Oval in NY Oval in the Albany, New York, right? We've got Vishy Patil. Then we've got our own Southern Strikers owners, Suresh and Prashant, who own the Orlando one. So we have some turf wickets now. We have Musa too. We played at Musa also. But Prairie View Cricket has given us like 6 grounds, right? And so you can bring in 6 teams and then play 3 games simultaneously, right? You are commentating on one of them, but we have 2 more games simultaneously going on the other 2 grounds. So yes, it takes a lot, definitely. So kudos to all the parents.
Widen the lens a little bit and talk about the journey of the Women's Houston Open for the last 5 years.
Oh, it has really been... The starting was pretty tough, right? But I must thank Mangesh Chaudhary from Cricket Prairie View Complex supporting the Houston Open. Just like he has the men's, I joined hands with him and started the women's one. Definitely his support is there, but at the same time to get the players to travel from all around the country, definitely this ground is the biggest attraction, right? This is the kind of experience. There were so many girls who had never even played cricket wearing spikes. So when they come to this kind of a ground and learn what can a wicket behave differently, this is where they learnt it. So yeah, it has definitely been...
Give me just a second. Let's look at this. This might have been a misstumping. Oh, she's well down the track, and if the keeper collects that cleanly, she is gone by a yard. So she will rue the day that she missed that stump in Arna Kalapala.
And that is the prize wicket, would have been the prize wicket of Dhriti Chamakura.
Wow. That could have been a big one. Anyway, finish your thoughts.
Definitely. I'll just say the score is around 73 for 2. It's the 11th over in progress. And that would definitely be, would have been a terrific wicket. So this is where the girls are going to learn, right? The more they practice, the more experience they get. They're going to get better and better. Arna is definitely doing a good job, but at the same time is learning a lot in these grounds. And that was a terrific piece of fielding, giving no runs at all. I can't see the shirt number, but whoever that is did a great job.
So you were talking about the journey that the tournament has been on for the last several years.
Yes. So I'm very, very proud again. As I said, it's the 5th edition. Every year we have made improvements. When we first started, the only thing we gave them was T-shirts, right? And a cap. And then we had, it is Houston Open, so we had all age groups and we had players from outside the US, definitely. And then 2022 and 2023, we allowed internationals to come in. And then we decided that, okay, we have a lot of homegrown cricketers who need an opportunity. So at this time, it's pretty much USA based. All the players are only US based. And now we have received a little support. I would say the franchise model is really working. We have 6 franchises, and the franchise puts in the money for the players. The players don't have to pay their fee, and the franchise is taking care of them. And as a tournament director, I take care of a lot of things. So as 5th edition, we've really given them, you know, things, very small things, but hopefully it means a lot to them. We got them like clads, we got them helmet covers, we got them a backpack so they can take it as a souvenir, as a 5th edition. And I could see that the girls were happy and they were rejoicing and very proud to carry it around with my Houston Open logo on it. So we're trying to do little things for the girls. So their only job is to come here, play fearlessly, enjoy their time, make some new friends, at the same time learn better cricket. So yeah, it's been an awesome journey, Brian.
Absolutely love the fact that the tournament has developed the way it has over the years. Skied, who wants it? Mid-off is there. And Mid-off puts down really what I think she will agree was a sitter. Advika Ganapati, who on any other day I think takes that easily, but this one is another one that she puts down.
And this is where in our every game, Brian, part of the journey, we've introduced things like player of the match.
And look at that, the very next ball, straight to mid-on this time, and that catch is taken.
Inaya
So
Haider.
Dritti is the victim on that occasion, 6 from 17. Inaya with the catch, 74 for 3.
Awesome catch, Inaya.
There's a replay again, look. Pushed down and dragged into the leg side and straight. Hit flat, not particularly hard, but you still have to catch it. And those are that come flat to you are sometimes a little bit harder to take. But she does well to pouch it, and that is wicket number 3.
Beautiful. So that makes the score 74 for 3. And as I was telling you, for each game, this time we have the 3 awards. One is the player of the match, which pretty much is every tournament has that. What we have introduced, 2 things, is called the impact player of the match. If the losing team has also made a lot of efforts, and as you saw, 2 morning games were very close. One was by 6 runs and the other one was 9 runs. And both the games, the opposite team made a fantastic effort. Like MSCA Hurricanes Kamakshi had 5 wickets, fifer, with a hat-trick, right? This morning in this same ground we're talking at. And so she got the impact player of the match, right? She was on the losing end, but she definitely put her efforts. And now we have the third, which is my favorite one. It's called the fielder of the match. Every match you have a fielder of the match. Doesn't matter whether you're on the losing side. So we have the umpires judging that, as they are right there, our eyes close to the whole vision of the game going on. And so they are the ones who decide that for me, and I go with that. But that's the one I look forward to because because of that's very important. We have Lasya Bandaru back with her second over. And who's our new batter in, Brian?
Oh, brilliant last over that for Lasya Bandaru. Just 1 run conceded, and that 1 run was because of the drop catch. So effectively, she could have had a wicket maiden, and she did take that wicket. So that is the end of over number 12. 74 for 3. The batters are going to be Sanvi Tanguturi, who just faced that first ball, and Adia Rawat, who is now 24 from 31. She slowed down a little bit from when she was batting earlier with Nikardoshi. 74 for 3. Scoring rate 6.17. Projection based on that scoring rate all the way down to 120. 123 to be specific.
The morning was 117. So looks like that's kind of the average score here at Pv1 for the women's tournament.
I would say it's less about comparing it to the first inning or the first match, and more about thinking what it could have been had Nikardoshi and Adia Rawat continued to bat the way they were, because they were going great guns.
Great guns.
And for a while, as they sliced away over the top, going toward the boundary for 4, if you could do more of that, then you can get back up into the maybe 140, 150 sort of range. But as of right now, it's a little, things have slowed down a lot. But looking at that replay, that's an expert piece of batting, coming down the track, playing that through the offside for 4.
So who was the batter who came in, Brian?
Sanvi Tanguturi.
Oh, Sanvi Tanguturi. But we have Adia Rawat at the batting end, right? Yeah, she's been, and she loves this ground. I've seen her many a times playing on this ground. She comes from the northeast. This team is called DC Titans, as we see them, and they have participated since the last year. So that's the other thing in my part of my journey, is different teams have come forward and they all want to come and play here. And Adya, I have seen her play in different teams, and I think now she plays with the DC Titans, a very good prospect in making. She's a good leg spinner too. So I think I'll take leave of you here, Brian, and get DJ back. But wonderful to talk to you, and I really want to thank you, both of you, from the bottom of my heart, to come here and support the women's cricket. Thank you, DJ. Thank you, Brian, for all that you all do.
You've known me for a number of years. You know that if there is an opportunity to assist in the promotion of women's cricket, I'm not being me if I don't say yes.
Yeah, all those who can't see him, he is dressed in pink. And that's where he is always. It's not that, I mean, he looks good in any color, definitely. One of the most good-looking commentators we have. Nothing taking away from Mr. DJ.
Okay, now you're pouring it on a little thick, all right?
No. No, but I am on a serious note. Brian, appreciate you driving all the way from Austin, supporting the girls on your weekend, and, giving them this beautiful memory of all this commentary. So thank you, Brian. Thank you, DJ.
It is my pleasure. The great Mithali. Thank you so much, Mithali. And so that was very special. That was the opportunity to hear from the primary tournament organizer. Mithali does so much for cricket in the area, particularly women's cricket. And having said all of that, we go from one brilliant cricketer, or at least cricket mind, to yet another. DJ, good afternoon. Good to see you again.
Good afternoon, Brian. To see you again. Great conversation. I was listening to that, and the experience, the journey that Mithali shared is really very commendable. And that was a very nicely executed shot. Width offered outside off stump. Didn't quite reach the boundary. 2 runs there. Adya Rawat looking very well settled there with 4 boundaries, batting on 29 at the moment. Your thoughts on that shot?
To me, it's less about power and more about placement. Just opening the face and running it off the outside half of the bat. It's not off the edge. Legitimately off the outside face of the bat and racing down the hill for a couple of runs.
And this time scooped it. Kind of a dill scoop, I would say, that shot, because that ball had a bit of a pace. It was kind of a half volley, full toss. Very nicely placed by Adya Rawat. 2 more runs to her tally and to the team's total.
Oh, look at that shot. Scoop is an interesting one. DJ, I don't like what I'm feeling. I'm feeling a cooler wind coming in from the south. That tells me that there is some bad weather that is somewhere between Galveston and here.
Exactly.
Let's just hope that we can get through this game before that happens.
Yep. Let's hope and pray that the rain gods stay away. But that cool breeze definitely tells you a different story. Only time will tell how close those passing clouds are. This time stepping down the ground. Didn't quite connect. Ball right into the block hole.
Beautifully bowled. That's exactly what you want to do. I've seen a couple of innovative shots here from Adya Rawat, but Lasya Bandaro is equal to the task in keeping her quiet.
And this time again trying to step down. Peel for a stumping. And it's interesting, the umpire didn't signal it a wide. Maybe I would call it that's a different interesting strategy by the wicketkeeper to distract the umpire from not giving a wide.
Well,
if you
let's
look at the replay here, yeah,
Ooh.
to me like that looks a wide. And as I said, like that's a pretty.
That is wide by 4 inches.
And I feel that the umpire got distracted by that appeal
By
and
the
what.
stumping. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. That easily could and rightly should have been adjudged a wide.
This time again trying to bowl a quicker one. Ball was in the air for a while. This will be 2 more runs for Adya Rawat.
Well, it's Adirawat who you would think much of the next 37 balls depends on. She's now up to 35 from 39. Sanvi Tangutur has not yet opened her account. So the score now on 83. You would think that if you wanted to push something toward 150, maybe 150 is out of reach, but say 130. 130, 8 and over from here gets you to 132. So to me, that's sort of the range that you need to aim for.
Yeah, that's the key that Adirawat stays there, and that's again played in the air, but falls in the no man's land. Just a single there. Yeah, the key is that Adya Rawat stays around and tries to build a partnership with another batter at the other end. Right now it's Sanvi, and they have a go at the bowlers. Maybe they can reach that target that you mentioned of 130, 140. Looks good on the board. Be very important to see like how they play the next 6 overs here, the final 6 overs of this innings.
86 for 3 after 14.
Lasya Bandaru completing her 3 overs, conceded 12 runs and picked 1 wicket. Suhasini Prakash completed her quota of 4 overs, a great spell. He conceded 16 runs and picked the very important wicket of Nikar Doshi. Change in the bowling. Mahati is coming into the attack from the highway end, from the southern end, I would say. The projected score at this moment is 123. Current run rate is 6.14. Mahati Shravana Prasad bowling with her hat and shades on. Starts with a nicely executed delivery on the offside block hole. Wide signal by the umpire this time.
So Mahathir Prasad starting with a wide. That is wide number 13 on the day. 15 extras total, 17% of all the runs scored.
Now again stepping down the ground. Didn't quite connect. Opened the face of the bat. Just a single there.
So this is from the do as I say, not as I do file. When I played cricket, the worst thing that you could ask me to do is run down the track to a spinner, because I just could not do it. Having said that, Adirawat is not quite getting down all the way to the pitch. If she gets all the way down to the pitch, then that goes over extra cover instead of going as fine as it did.
This time the batter quite indecisive whether to go front foot or back foot. And that length that I was talking about, that makes every batter's life difficult. When you're not able to decide whether you want to go forward or backward. Again, wide signal by umpire. We see like a couple of good deliveries with that. When you see a wide, it kind of hurts to see that as a spinner. So nicely mixing it up. Not able to get that line right. Again, outside off stump. That would be wide number 15, if I'm not wrong.
Wide number 15, extra number 17. So you are helping the other team to score if you're the Texas Legends. So you certainly want to clean that up.
There's a chance of a run out here, and a nice slide there, but I think she made her mark in time. It's quite safe there.
Tell you what, a direct hit, she's out. A clean connection and disturbing the stumps, and she's out. I don't know if we have time to go back and look at that, but that to me is yet another miss.
They're out batting on 37 right now, 42 deliveries. Another wide here. It's wide number 16 that innings.
Take a look at this again. So down the ground, and if this is a direct hit, gone. And then here, collect, and boy, somebody is going to want to show her how to slide, reaching. This is not baseball. So sliding, leading with your feet accomplishes nothing. The idea when you slide with your bat is to have something out in front of you.
And another wide. That's the 5th wide of this over.
Oh, jeez. So essentially, you're bowling 2 overs in 1 here. And the score continues to tick upwards.
This time, actually shorter in the air. So is there a chance of a run out this time again? And this time, nicely collects the ball and finally gets a run out. Batter at the non-striker end was Sanvi Tanguchuri. Looks like she made that decision in a haste to just run without looking at the fielder.
So I have to say, not the cleanest passage of play here. In the air, landing short of the fielder. That is Tara Arvind Kumar, and then throw to the stumps. And really, had that been a side angle, you would not have even seen her in the shot. Umpire Rohan Witherspoon right there in the right position to adjudicate on that delivery or in that decision. But just some ragged running between the wickets. And overall, just not, again, as I said, not the cleanest of passages of play here for both teams, to be frank, the DC Titans and the Texas Legends. As you said, this over itself has gone for 7 wides, make that 5 wides. And then still with 1 ball remaining here, conceded 7 runs. So just 2 off the bat, and everything else has been a wide. So certainly a lot to clean up.
Yeah. Sanvi, when she looks at that replay, she would be really disappointed with herself. There's absolutely no need of that run. And with that, DC Titans lose their 4th wicket. The new batter at the crease is Sahiti Mogula. It will still be Adya Rawat on strike. Still a ball remaining in this over, and this time stepping down the ground, Adya Rawat. There'll be a second run. And yes, easy second run there. And that's the end of the 15th over. DC Titans are now 95 for the loss of 4 wickets. And Lasya Bandaru coming back into the attack. She'll be bowling her final over of the spell. This time slightly quicker in the air. Nice drift. Not offering any width for the batter. Sahiti Mogula is the batter.
Bowled really well, Lasya Bandaru. 3.1 overs, 1 for 12.
And again, nicely bowled. And trying to be a little cheeky and smart there, Lasya Bandaru. And that resulted in an extra run there.
Replay back to the bowler herself, and then tried, I think, just unnecessarily to effect a run out at the non-striker's end. She won't be happy to have given away a run there.
Another quick single. Good understanding and good running between the wickets, between both the batters. keep talking about the importance of running between the wickets and showing that urgency. And this is where both the batters understand the importance of that. Make those runs count. Kane actually do another ground. Another cheeky single within the 30-yard circle. So these singles would be really important if we get in the context of the game where the game is poised right now. 3 singles, quick singles within the 30 yards, so that kind of puts pressure and looked like that missed everything. The batter, the wickets, the keeper. Bye signal by umpire.
Well, you've gotten some sloppiness behind the wicket, but all in all, I think you'll take any runs that you can get at this stage if you're the DC Titans.
And another miss hit. Didn't quite connect. Sahiti Mogula.
Another bye, consecutive buys. So that second bye bringing up the 100-run mark. So going down the leg side. This one just bouncing over and to the inside of leg stump. So that is yet another over completed. Excellent spell from Lassia Bandaru. 100 for 4 after 16.
Yep, that single brings up the 100 for DC Titans. Considering they have 6 wickets in hand. Brian, do you think they should start going for big shots right now? And Adil Rawat is very well settled there at the crease.
I'm not quite ready to say they should start going for big shots. I'm ready to say Adi Rawat should start going for big shots. She's been there for 46 deliveries. You would think she's seen enough to see how the pitch is playing. The ball is a lot older. New ball bowlers coming back into the attack. This is going to be bowler coming from the southern end, but for me, in fact, it's going to be a new bowler, Dia.
Yeah, that's Dia Lakshmikant, and starts the over with a peach of a delivery. Completely deceived Sahiti Mogula. She had no clue whatsoever. Looks like that was a change of pace, a slower delivery, but bowled in the block hole. We'll have a close look at the replay.
Really good start. Full. And boy, looking to play across the line instead of playing straight down the ground. Playing with a straight bat would have been the better option there. And unfortunately losing her wicket. So that is wicket number 5 that goes down. That partnership was only worth 7. And 100 runs on the board. You're now into the bottom half of the batting side. And this really puts you in a much, much better position. Texas Legends, once again, having chosen to bat first, make that to bowl first. After the first couple of overs, it may have looked like a relatively poor decision, but they're making it count here.
Yeah. We look at Adil Rawat's innings. She is batting on 40 of 46 deliveries, 4 boundaries. But at the same time, she hasn't had partners staying with her at the other end or trying to capitalize or build that partnership. She would need somebody at the other end can build that partnership with her.
New batters, Anahita Mohan. Anahita Mohan with her partner at the non-strikers end, the one who is set, Adil Rawat, 40 from 46. But bigger picture here is that you're down to the last 22 balls. So maybe the idea from here could be to get Adil Rawat back on strike.
This time, over pitch. It's an easy single there. The fielder in the fine leg region.
The lesson there, kids, run the first one hard. You run the first one hard, and then you'd be the one coming back to the danger end. You have the full view of the fielder from deep backward square who was relatively slow to get to the ball. That for me is an easy 2 if you stick to your disciplines.
Diya Lakshmikant charging in from the southern end. This time full toss. Actually opened the face of the bat and very well fielded by the fielder in the sweeper cover region. That was a great effort. We'll have a close look at that in the replay.
Really well done. Akshara Anandis, who I believe it is out there, sweeping on the offside. And she dives away to her left to prevent that ball. Easily would have gone over the ropes had she not fielded it.
Yeah, so far 2 runs conceded of this over and a wicket. Anaita Mohan back on strike. Stamp heaved it to the mid-wicket region. Will wait for the umpire signal. That's a 6. And that's the first 6 of this innings.
Tell you what, that was well struck. And look where this is dragged from outside the line of off stump and dragging it on the leg side, going over cow corner for, as you said, the first 6 of the innings. So this, to me, feels like that type of acceleration that you need going in toward the back end of the innings. Down to the last 19 balls now. So it's time to, as they say, make hay while the sun shines.
Yep. Anaita Mohan on strike. Stamp played at the back foot, straight to the fielder in the short cover region. No run there. And that's the end of the 17th over. DC Titans are now 108 for the loss of 5 wickets.
One 108 for 5. Last 18 balls. A runner ball gets you to 126. 8 and over gets you to 132. It feels, DJ, like 125 to 130 should be the minimum that they aim for.
Yep. And they would like to believe that that's a total they can defend. Because as I said, like this surface, it doesn't change much throughout the day. The bounce remains pretty similar, pretty decent.
So how much depends on Adir or Watts here? Full toss into the leg side. A couple of bounces down to deep mid-wicket for a single. It's going to be Tara Arvind Kumar, who's back into the attack, bowling her 3rd over.
Tara Arvind Kumar has conceded 15 runs in her first 2 overs. Adir Rawat trying to break free. Did quite connect that shot, but straight to the fielder that time.
Swipe and a miss. I think you saw Tara Arvind Kumar swing the new ball. Don't expect much swing at this stage of the innings, but it's going to be that much more important to get the ball in the right areas.
Yep, the key is bowling in the right areas in the death overs.
Into the leg side now. Deep mid-wicket in position. This is good, disciplined bowling. Just 3 runs, make that 2 runs from the first 3 balls of over number 18.
Yep, good disciplined bowling there. She's bowling to her field. Not trying too much, just keeping it simple. Hitting the right spot, hitting the right length.
Lofted in the air. This is going to be falling short of the fielder coming around from long off. Stayed in the air for a while, but Srinidhi Sagiraju could not have gotten there. Another single.
Yeah, with that single, Adir Rawat moves to a score of 43. 48 deliveries. 49 deliveries.
Down to the last 14 balls of the innings now. Big hit down the ground. It's going to be fielded though by a long on. So in over number 18, if you have bowled 5 balls and have only given up 4 runs, this really is good bowling at this stage of the innings.
Yep. She's bowling her third over right now. Hasn't gotten any wicket today, but has bowled really in the right areas. And
Goes
again,
for the big drive. Can't get anything on it. What a great over. 4 runs coming from over number 18. Once again, you're looking at a score of around 124 if you scored a run of balls. So this is good stuff to restrict the scoring in that over to just 4 runs. End of 18, 112 for 5.
if you look at the DC Titans innings there, Nikhar Doshi had a blistering start in the beginning, 26, just 20 deliveries. Meghna Baisha didn't make much today. Adya Rawat still batting, still going strong, 43 or 50 deliveries. Anaita Mohan, her partner at the other end. Other batters didn't quite contribute much with the bat. 5 wickets down at the moment. DC Titans.
Anaita Mohan is now going to be on strike, as it is Dia Lakshmikant who's back into the attack. Saw her bowl over number 18, make that over number 17. Took a wicket with her very first ball. And I don't know necessarily that she is looking to take a wicket here, but the idea is just to limit the damage. Specifically, you want to make sure that Adya Rawat does not go beyond 50, or at least get up to 50 and beyond, and play with that freedom that you know she'd be playing to if she got to that mark.
Yep. I believe at this point, what will be important is like she bats till the end of the 20th over to score the maximum runs, and her partner contributes at the other end.
Hammered, deep extra cover into position. This, for me, is going to be the interesting matchup. Adya Rawat, 43 from 50. So striking it at a strike rate of 86. But she knows that there's only 11 balls left. And so with 11 balls left, forget about milestones. Just see how many runs you can cash in on. Played off the back foot directly to short extra cover. No run.
No run there. Straight to the fielder in the short cover region.
Well, your opportunities to score quickly are going to start running out, because with last 10 balls, the bowling is really attacking. I'll tell you what, that's going to be wide. That's actually not far away from being a full toss no ball. She might consider herself lucky there. Dia Lakshmikant.
Yep, wide signal by umpire. We'll have a close look there.
Ooh, very, very wide. Now, if that ball was a little bit fuller or shorter rather than landed in the grass before it reached the pitch, that's another wide. Before it reached the stumps is what I should say, then it would have been a judge a no ball. So she may consider herself lucky there, Dia Lakshmikant. But in any event, she still bowls another wide. So that is wide number 19 on the day. A lot of free runs being given away. That is 24 runs in extras. A full 21% of all the runs to be scored in the day. Played into the leg side here. They'll get just a single.
9 deliveries remaining in this innings so far. Adya Rawat moves to a score of 44. If they can get to a mark of 124, 125, as you mentioned, Brian, they would like to believe that that target is defendable. And another one.
Very, very full. Not given as a wide. And obviously not also giving us the no balls. So once again, she might consider herself lucky. Let's see where this ball lands.
Oh boy.
It's going to be an interesting one. Last two balls coming up over number 19. Make this ball pitch. Make it pitch. Better. Down the ground. One bounce. Too long off.
So easy single there. With that single, DC Titans move to a total of 117. They are back on strike.
Skied. Long off. Takes it easily. And she made that look really, really easy. That is, I believe, Lassia Bandaru. You can tell from that smile that she loves it. Really smart catch. And wicket number 6 goes down. End of the over. Over number 19 is done. 118. Make that 117 for 6.
Yeah, if you look at the replays, she was in a very good position and very well judged. It was evident from her smile after that catch. And it's the end of the 19th over. DC Titans are now 117 for the loss of 6 wickets.
That's the big wicket of Adia Rawat and Ahita Mohan 11 from 12, now joined by Akshara Patibandla. And with the last 6 balls coming up, do you find, or can you find a way to get to 125, 126, 130, something in that range? Taradin Kumar coming back into the attack, blasted down the ground. This is well struck, and it goes. Oh, that's a good piece of fielding down on the boundary. Think she does well. Think she saves 2 runs.
Yeah, that was Inaya Haider fielding in the long on region. Very well fielded. Definitely saved 2 runs for her team there.
Well, from this position, 119, 125 certainly you would think would be the minimum that they'd look for. This should be 2 more. They run hard. In fact, it goes all the way for 4. So this is the flourish you need at the end of the innings. 123 on the board. Maybe 125 was setting my sights a little too low. Maybe you look to see if you can score 10 in the last 4 balls.
Anaida Mohan trying to make the most of the last over. He already hit a 6, the first 6 of this inning. We saw her ability like to hit big shots, and she is making us believe that she can hit few more big shots now.
Well, that certainly will not help. A free ball, a free run, wide, number 20. Bearing in mind that on each wide you have to bowl an extra ball. So you've bowled 3 additional overs plus in this inning so far. And that has many ramifications, not the least of which, the longer you're out here playing, the more the chance of the weather coming into the picture later on. Straight down the ground should just be 1.
Easy single there to the long on region. Three balls remaining.
13 fours and 1 6 have been struck in the inning so far. Can you find a way to get to, say, 15 fours? Akshar Patibandla on strike. As sweetly as Anahita Mohan is striking it, maybe you try to turn the strike over to her for the last 2. Got to run for a bye here. They do. So watch umpire Myron James signaling a bye. So that is the last 2 balls of the over coming up. Take a look at this.
Oh, That missed the leg stump by a whisker.
Boy.
That was pretty close.
So 2 balls remaining. 135. Is 135 possibly on the cards? Struck down the ground. You know she'll be coming back for the second. Oh, she thought about it, but decided not to at the end. So that means 1 ball remaining. It will be Akshara Patibandla on strike. Can she get the team over 130? See what happens on this last ball.
Anita Mohan played a valuable knock here. 19 of just 14 deliveries, 1 boundary and 1 6.
Down the leg side, and it will go away for an additional 2 runs. You would think they do come back for that second run. That does all kinds of damage. First of all, you've just given away 3 free runs. Second of all, you've gotten Akshara Patibandla off of strike, Anita Mohan back on strike. And the batter who's more likely to clear the ropes will be the one who faces the last ball.
Yep. Those extra 3 runs there, I would say.
Great last delivery, fumbled by the keeper, so they'll end up with a bye to close things out. Coming back for the second, really that doesn't ever do much difficulty or much harm because there was never going to be another run there. In any event, it is the end of the innings, and with a bit of a flourish at the end, they score eventually 132. 131, my apologies. So 131 on the board, which means the target will be 132. We'll see the full scorecard shortly. But a decent bowling effort from the Texas Legends.
Definitely, I mean, from the point they started, the innings was a blistering start by Nikhar Doshi and Adya Rawat at the other end. Eventually, they kept losing wickets in the middle overs, didn't capitalize with the run rate, but they'll be happy with the way how they finished in the last 2 overs. Have a look at that replay. And those were the dismissals. The first wicket, then the boundary. That was nicely executed in the fine leg region. Nicely played by Nikhar Doshi there. Nicely opening the face of the bat again. Those were some blistering fours in the square region offside. That for me was the shot of the day. Cover drive. Again opening the face, and this time bowler getting the better of her. Full toss, another, this time straight to the field in the long on region. Again, and this run route, as you keep talking about it, that was unnecessary. Could have avoided that run. And that was a peach of delivery, completely deceiving the batter in the air. And that was a very well catch taken by Lasya Bandaru. And Anita Mohan doing her part towards the end. Scored 19 of 14 deliveries, 1 boundary and a 6.
Pretty clean effort again in the field. The batters, I thought, did decently to start with, but it's mostly 3 of them. Nikhar Doshi, 26 from 20. Adya Rawat, 44 from 53. And Anita Mohan, 19 from 14. That's an important cameo toward the end of the innings. Single digits the rest of the way. But the one other element that helped was all of the extras. 29 of them in all. So that certainly puts you in a bit of a difficult position, giving you that many additional runs to chase. The bowlers were all relatively decent, maybe with the one exception, third from the top, Srinidhi Segaraju. But they did what they needed to do once the DC Titans got off to that fast start to limit the damage, which is what you want to see. So, summary, DC Titans batting first after being asked to bat, 131 for 7. That means the Texas Legends, after we take the short break, will see whether or not they can overhaul that target of 132. See you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the Prairie View Cricket Complex, Prairie View, Texas. Second half up this match between the Texas Legends and the DC Titans. DC Titans batting first, putting up a score of 131. And Texas Legends now looking to see whether or not they can overhaul a target of 132. They will start with Ashika Chiratanagandla.
Yeah, you
I
got
will
it.
get that eventually.
You got it right.
And
Mike.
Rithvika Kari. DJ, who wins this match?
I mean, it's pretty early to say. I mean, if you are asking me to take a side, probably I would side with DC Titans. I would like to believe that they can defend this total. But at the same time, Texas Legends would give everything in to chase that target. Aishika Chiratanaganda has played 103 matches, as we saw there, the scorecard. And with a strike rate of 68, scored 1,130 runs across all formats. Her partner at the other end is Rithvika Curry, who's on strike right now, and we will be facing the first ball.
New ball in the hands of Arna Krishnaveni. Got a little bit darker and a little bit cooler in the last several seconds. And keep that in mind as we get through the rest of this innings, or the rest of this match, the rest of this innings. Good ball to start with, bang on target.
Yep, hitting the deck, spot on.
So you were what I would refer to as the Duckworth-Lewis master in the first match. So I know after each over you're going to highlight what the target score is going to be, or what the par score is going to be, I should say. And so for those who are not familiar with Duckworth-Lewis, I'm going to ask you in a minute to sort of explain what all that means. First run off the bat down to deep mid-wicket, make that deep square leg. Duckworth-Lewis to the uninitiated.
Basically, it's a kind of a mathematical calculation tool introduced, I believe, for the first time in 1992.
Why do you know when Duckworth-Lewis was even introduced? First of all, were you even born in '92? Let's start there.
I was. I was born in the year '89, but yeah, I was too young to kind of follow cricket. But when I saw the highlights of the 1992 World Cup for the first time, later, South Africa was at the receiving end of that match.
Down the leg side, a bevy of wides bowled today, but you were talking about Duckworth-Lewis.
So yeah, for the uninitiated, it's a mathematical tool or a calculation system introduced in 1992 by ICC in a situation when a rain or any other natural calamity takes over the game and we have to decide the course of the game. Then that calculation comes into picture. A very close single there. There was a chance of a run out. She dropped her bat. The ground, but I think eventually made her ground in time. And as we have a close look here in
Duckworth-Lewis.
so yeah, as I was talking about Duckworth-Lewis, in the context of any game when rain or any other natural calamity takes over, and then if the overs are somehow reduced or the passage of the play is interrupted, and that kind of affects the total duration of the game, then that calculation comes into picture. Most of the time they say like the team batting second, they're at the receiving end, as far as we have seen with all the stats. At the same time, it's a double-edged sword, as we have seen in a lot of the matches in our lifetime. So we would hope the same, that in this match the rain gods stay away, as they have stayed away so far. That ball stayed low.
Well, if the rain gods stay away, then 128 from 115 is just a little bit of a stretch, but you can get there. But we will keep an eye on the par score as we get through this match, and we will highlight that at the end of each over. Off the back foot, good first over, just 4 runs coming from it, one of which was a wide. end of over number 1, 4 without loss. The last piece I'll ask you about Duckworth Lewis. Talk about the par score, what that means.
So the par score is basically if the game was supposed to be stopped right now because of rain or any other natural calamity like thunderstorm or anything, then that would be the par score that the team should be at that point. And if the team chasing that target, basically they are above that par score, then they will be declared the winner. If they don't, then the team who's fielding at that point, they will be declared the winner. Now, I don't have the expertise to go into the details of how those calculations are made or how that calculation is done.
These days, an app does it for you.
Eventually, yeah, that's what
I care about.
that's what we see in the screen right now.
Yep. So the screen right now tells us that the par score is 5. If the game, well, the game can't end right now. If it ends now, you have to at least play 5 overs for it to be a legitimate match. But after 5 overs, if the team that is batting is short of that par score, then they would have lost. Going now to Akshara Patibandla, who is bowling her first over, the second of the innings. And so we'll keep an eye on all of those moving parts, if you will. Right arm bowling to the right-handed Ritvika. Patted back to the bowler, no run. One thing to always sort of keep an eye on is the comparison between the two teams. At the end of the first over, each team was 4 without loss. So keep watching to see how the acceleration for the DC Titans, particularly when Nick Doshi and her partner were going great guns, they accelerated tremendously, but then slowed down toward the middle part of the innings. So we'll kind of pay attention to that because that also plays into the Duckworth Lewis calculations.
Yeah, Akshara.
In the air, landing short of the fielder, deep mid-wicket. Nikardoshi is the name I was struggling to come up with a second ago. You asked me how old I was. There, that's my age kicking in, DJ.
You're still young, Brian, and as all the cricket enthusiasts across the Texas area know, Brian is, as we call him, the voice of cricket in USA or in the Texas region. That's how we know him.
You are too kind, sir.
Looking at the bowler here, Akshara Patibanda, pretty tall and lean, and has a unconventional release. Talk more about that, Brian. When you observe that action, do you feel like it's a wrong-footed action? Like a lot of bowlers had, like I remember one from Pakistan, Sohail Tanveer.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say she's a right-handed Sohail Tanveer. It's almost like she delivers off the wrong foot. Or if you go all the way back to old guys like me, somebody like a Mike Proctor, who you probably have never seen bowl. Bowled exactly like that off the wrong foot. I don't know how you generate momentum and pace like that, but somehow they managed to do it. But whether bowling off the wrong or the right foot, she's going to need to get that ball on the right line here. Akshar Patibandla. I don't know how that's possible. Just the physics of that type of delivery to me say that the ball should not be anywhere close to where she's getting it to land. But as they say, if she's doing it wrong, then the coach can coach that out of her. But if the idea is to focus on the result as opposed to the action, then that's a different story. Having said all of that, you've already bowled 3 wides in this over, and so something will have to be done, whether it's the wrong foot that she's bowling off of, or whether it just requires a teammate coming over, tapping her on the shoulder, and having a kind word like you just saw. That may be all that it takes. This time it's a wide in the other direction.
Talking of wrong-footed bowlers, that also remind me of a modern day, they call him the greatest, the modern day greats. One of them is a great batsman who used to be a part-time bowler at one point of time, is Virat Kohli. He's also a wrong-footed bowler. Not a lot of people might have seen him bowling, but as we have seen him bowling in his early days, he's a wrong-footed bowler too. And
Look at that. Falling straight. What did we say in the first match? If a bowler has the ball all over the shop, the second you get one straight, it takes a wicket. 9 for 1.
exactly, and kind of that hit the right deck, right spot. The ball was in the line, and the batter was trying to slog that delivery. We'll have a close look at the replay here. Look at that release point. Yep. And that was an inside edge, as we see. The batter was trying to slog that delivery. The batter doing that, shaking her head. She's not at all happy. What did I do?
The reaction told you everything. The hand goes to the top of the head. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe I did not hit that onto Highway 290. However, I think the lesson there is it is easy to lose your concentration when you're facing a bowler who is consistently losing the ball in terms of the line. It's easy to have your concentration fall. When they say play each ball on its merit, this is what they're referring to. Because you try to slog that across the line. Having to slog that across the line, that's essentially why she got an inside edge onto the pads, onto the stumps, and unfortunately pays the price. So new batter's in. Oh my goodness, yet another wide though. So this certainly is not going to help.
You batter at the creases, Srinidhi, the skipper herself. Vastly experienced. 284 matches across all the formats. More than 3,600 runs with a strike rate of 74.
Well, she's going to need to call on all her experience here. Her team is just off to a little bit of a sluggish start. Played into the offside. That's a good piece of fielding.
It was nicely driven down the ground, but straight to the fielder.
Yeah. Adira what it is in that short extra cover area. You see a lot of captains fielding these days. So 5 extras in this over already. Great deliver that one though. Bang on target. So it was an expensive over, but she took a wicket. She will concede 6, or if she were to concede 6 runs every time she takes a wicket, I think she'd take that exchange. End of over number 2, 10 for 1. At the end of over number 2, the DC Titans were 11 for 1. So neck and neck as we're 2 delivers, make that 2 overs into the second innings.
And also I would like to mention the par score after 2 overs as it's showing in our scoring screen should have been 14 right now.
14. Now, as we mentioned, the par score doesn't really become relevant after 5 overs have been played. So if you are the organizers and the officials, you're praying for if there is any rain, it holds off for another 3 overs, because then you don't have that dreaded splitting of points. Back to Arna Krishnaveni for her second over, third of the innings. Lovely looking shot, but straight to point, no run.
Yeah, nicely using the pace of that delivery, and that's what they should strive for. She's generating some good amount of pace. The batter is trying to stay on the top of the delivery. Ritvika Curry, batting on 3 at the moment, has already faced 6 deliveries.
In the air, and it's going to be wide of the fielder at the deep mid-wicket position. That is the first boundary of the day.
What a welcome boundary. That was slightly over-pitched and made the most out of it. Ritvika Curry, not wasting any time. As soon as she saw the ball in her range, she went for it. Very strong off her pads.
Well, you're obviously still in the power play overs. This is just over number 3, so you have to be a lot more disciplined. Very full. Play it away through the offside. That will race away down the hill for 4 more.
What a good shot. Back-to-back boundaries. This was a full toss. Nicely executed. Full face of the bat. Head down. Long stride forward. Very well played.
Proper cricket shots. Look at this. high front arm, kept it down. That is very, very good batting. And I will tell you, that's exactly what you want to see. You're not chasing a really challenging target, but you still don't want to get bogged down. Don't want to get tied down. And in another couple of overs, when it becomes relevant, you're going to want to stay ahead of the par score. Around the leg side, that is going to be 4 more. 3 fours on the trot.
Are we seeing something similar what Nikhar Doshi did in the first half of the power play in the first innings? Ritvika Curry trying to capitalize here and getting the most out of it. What a good shot. Great execution. Modern day batters, as we see, they play sweep shots of fast bowlers. Your take on that, Brian?
I am happy to say that I've never been swept in my life. And at this point, I never will be swept in my life because I hung the boots up a long time ago. But the error in that ball was the line, going down the leg side. This one now needs to be more on the off-stump line. That is a much better ball. Oh, a little bit of a fumble at mid-off, but I'll tell you what, no run taken. I think they had more than enough opportunity to get a single there, but ultimately a dot ball.
Yeah, definitely an opportunity there. That could have been an easy single.
Well, the last ball coming up, and selfishly, I hope this is a dot for the reason that I'm about to tell you, if in fact it is a dot. Here is the last ball. Well, it's not going to be a dot. It's going to be 4 more, I believe. It does get to the rope now. 16 runs come from that over. 4 fours. And a brilliant stuff from the Texas legend. Specifically, you see the batting of Ritvika Curry really coming to the fore. The reason I was hoping that that was going to be a dot is because had that been a dot, at the end of 3 overs, it would have been 22 for 1 for both teams. But Texas legends surge ahead. After 1, make that after 3, 26 for 1.
Definitely, call it a jinx or commentator's curse. You wanted it to be a dot ball, but eventually the moment you said that went for a boundary. And let's discuss that shot. The ball was bowled, again, as you said, she was not hitting the right line. Mm-hmm. And that ball was way down the leg side.
Yep.
And she's very strong off her pads, as we have seen in the initial few overs. She made the most out of it. And after 3 overs, Texas Legends are 26 for 1. Akshara coming back into the attack from the southern end. There's a little bit of width of it in that delivery on the offside. Straight to the fielder in the gully region. No run there. Srinidhi yet to open her account. She's faced 3 deliveries so far. Getting bogged by a fly there. Again,
Goes past
back of the length
outside
delivery.
edge this time, and it's going to be a dot. So a couple of dots to start over number 4. Akshara Patibandla. Essentially has put a team in a position where they can just pull things back. Started out with a couple of dots. And that certainly helps you take some of the pressure off. Worked into the leg side, 3 consecutive dots after a very expensive over. This is exactly what you want from your support bowler.
That length is pretty tricky. The batter sees that the pace is not that much. She was trying to play the back foot, but after pitching, that ball skid. That makes it even more difficult. And this time, the ball was in the air.
Landing short. I think that's Nikhar Doshi at short cover. So 4 straight dots to start over number 4. That puts the pressure now on the batting side. Look at this ball. Landing short. Here's next delivery. Great delivery. Bang on target. 5 straight dots. So again, over number 3 went for all of 16 runs. But this is a great comeback over being bowled here by Akshara Patibandla. Pulling things all the way back. How can she close this over out strong here? She does exactly that. Of all things, a maiden for over number 4. Brilliant stuff from Akshara Patibandla. End of 4, 26 for 1.
Yeah, what a good over. Let's not forget she also picked the first break to the first wicket in her last over. To the end of 4 overs, Texas Legends are now 26 for the loss of 1 wicket. We saw a maiden over in the last game, and this is the first maiden of this game.
Well, over number 3 went for 16. Over number 4, no run. Believe it or not, after over number 4, the Texas Legends are actually ahead of the par score. But that one maiden over pulled things back a lot closer. Now this over, after this over, we can start watching the par score in earnest, because you and I are both hearing thunder coming in from the southeast at the moment. And after this over, it will be an official match. So if rain in any way prevents things from being completed as planned, then that's when Duckworth Lewis comes into the fore. This now will be Nishka Ramaneni bowling from the forest end, northern end of the ground here in Prairie View.
Nishika Ramaneni, right arm, medium fast. Waiting for the umpires to get things sorted.
.106 needed. 106 needed in the next 96 balls. Struck into the outfield. They'll get a couple of runs. So good length to start with, but the line for me was just a little bit too wide.
Ritvika Curry starting from where she left in the last over when she faced. She hit 4 boundaries in that over. She's batting on 19 at the moment. What a peach of a delivery.
That's the line that you want. Just on that 4th stump line and asking the right questions. Certainly a much better delivery than that first one. Now, last 4 balls of the over. Once again, after this over is when we can start watching what the par score is in earnest. Oh, lovely shot. Running down to deep third. They'll get at least 2, you'd think.
Talk about the awareness or the presence of mind of the batter here. She saw the ball traveling little outside that 4th or 5th stump line. She just opened the face of the bat and guided the ball to that region. Batting at the highest level. Great presence of mind there by Ritvika Curry. Another 2 runs added to the kitty.
This is really, really high-level cricket that we're seeing, and I hope that doesn't sound like we're being sort of insulting, because take away the sex of the players. This is just high-level cricket, period. We're seeing evidence of bowlers swinging, cutting, bowling dooseras, bowling flippers. The batters are on top of their games. We've seen a few sweep shots, a few scoop shots. Like, the entire repertoire is being displayed. And look at that brilliant piece of fielding at backward point. They'll get a single, but she probably saves 3 runs here.
Yep, another display of extraordinary fielding effort as we speak about. That ball was traveling pretty quickly, and if you're a fielder in the point region, as they say, you have to be the best fielder of the team. And that fielder justified that. That save definitely saved 2 or 3 runs for her team there.
Dot ball closes things out. Over number 5 is done and dusted. 5 runs coming from over number 5. 101 runs needed in the next 90 balls. The score is 31 for 1.
And now the par score that comes into effect after 5 overs becomes more relevant. The par score right now, as showing on our screen, is 27. So to explain that in simple terms to all the viewers, if the team right now batting second, that is Texas Legends, they are well above the par score. If the game was supposed to stop right now because of rain or any other natural calamity, Texas Legends will be declared winner because they are above that par score. Small correction there, the par score is 28. And yes, still Texas Legends, they are still above that par score.
Now, a couple of wickets can change that entire equation. So it becomes that much more important for the Texas Legends while they want to keep pushing toward the target to not be reckless and lose wickets, because that certainly makes the par score go up.
That was a good delivery. Got an outside edge, but there's no fielder there, but straight to the fielder in the gully region. No run there. Brian, spoken like a true bowler. If they get 2 wickets, that changes the course of the game. But I can understand, I mean, how much it kind of gives that immense happiness in the heart of any bowler. And as we see, like, I mean, in the modern day, how the game is more elevated towards the batters, that definitely gives edge to the bowling side and makes the contest even more even.
Well, I read the game as a bowler, but it was, okay, again, talking old guys cricket here. Jeffrey Boycott, who once said, if you want to see which team is ahead, think of the team that is batting right now as having just lost 2 wickets. In other words, add 2 more wickets in the wickets column to wherever the score is right now, and the team that you think is best at that stage is the one that you would think would truly be on top.
That was a very nicely executed shot. Another late cut. Coming back for the third. Hustle for the fielder there in the third man reach. And the keeper didn't go for that stumping. I don't know why. Maybe we'll have to see it. Look at the replay.
I want to see that again. If the keeper collects this and disturbs the stumps, I think this is a run out. I don't know if we have time to go back and look at that, but that to me looks like it would have been out. But it's surprising that she did not even attempt to take the bails off.
Another nicely executed delivery. The ball is doing not much. It's just her release point. The way how she's releasing that ball, it's losing a bit of amount of pace. And the batter is coming up with that high bat speed, anticipating the ball to come much quicker at her. But that's where the magic happens. The ball is losing its pace and she's not able to connect the right time. Yep, there you go. You have to slow down your bat speed, kind of get that right connect point. Going back to that conversation, I would like to add that I don't know who said this, but recently somebody mentioned that batters, they win you matches and bowlers win you tournaments. You know.
Wow. I love that.
And as he defended, straight drive but straight to the bowler, no run there. And that's the end of the 6th over. And Texas Legends are now 35 for the loss of 1 wicket. And the par score right now, as showing on our screen, is 33.
I believe that that's going to be refreshed shortly. I think that par score is slightly off. I would think it would have to be higher than that, but we'll keep an eye on that. To take it away from cricket, and the closest thing to what you just said as applied to another sport. In football, American football, they say offense sells tickets, defense win championships.
Yep. Very rightly said. I mean, offense and defense, we can say in the context of soccer as well. Or in soccer, as they use the term strikers.
Yep.
Nishika Ramineni coming back into the attack from the northern end. And nicely driven down the ground, straight to the fielder in the mid-on region. There was a chance of a run out, but skipper Srinidhi, living dangerously, made her mark in time.
This replay, that's actually not far away. This is a direct hit. This is asking a question or two. Ooh, that would have been really close, but I think she may just have gotten home.
Again, my heart skipped a little bit seeing bowling to Ritvika Curry on her pads. She's really strong on her pads, and if you're going to bowl her that line, the ball is going to disappear. You have to be very careful bowling that line to Ritvika Curry. She has already hit, as far as I remember, 3 boundaries already in that region. Yeah, that's the line you should strive for. Off stump line in that around that 4th or 5th stump.
Keeping the ball outside the line of off stump, excuse me, is generally a much better option than bowling it too straight. So she appears to be doing what she needs to do as far as that line is concerned.
Again, keeping it straight, wicket to wicket, straight to the field in the short mid-wicket region. No run there. Ritvika Curry batting on.
With that line, the line is a little too straight, but the length was a lot better. That same line, a full length that goes away over backward square leg.
This time, kind of more foolish. No run there. Ritvika Curry batting on 27 of 22 deliveries. The strike rate of 122. Shout for a leg before. That was an interesting appeal. The bowler was not interested in that appeal. Only wicketkeeper and a couple of fielders in the offside region.
The bowler did not appeal. Square leg and cover appeal. So that tells you everything you need to know about that appeal. Yeah, that replay is showing that ball clearly going down.
Nicely driven down the ground. Straight to the fielder.
And
Just a
apparently
single
the
there.
reason it was going down is because it was an inside edge, I'm being told in my ear. Take a look at this again. Okay, fine. Big inside edge. Hassan, I stand corrected. My 58-year-old eyes don't work as well as they used to.
It was a big inside edge, as we see here on the replay screen.
So end of over number 7, 38 for 1.
And as we're looking at the par score right now, is 38. So for anyone who doesn't have an idea about Duckworth Lewis, if the game is supposed to be stopped right now, and if we're looking at the scoreboard right now, Texas Legends is exactly at that par score that they need to be. Skipper Srinidhi batting on 2 right now. She's already faced 12 deliveries. Ritvika Curry batting on 28 of 25 deliveries.
You know, I play the comparison game. At this stage in their innings, the DC Titans, and this is when Nikardoshi was going strong, along with Adiarawat, they at this stage were 57 for 2. In fact, that was just the dismissal of Nikardoshi. So, I would anticipate there is a big gap right now. 19 runs is what the gap is between the two teams at this stage of the innings, but I would anticipate that gap starting to close sometime very soon.
And again, Akshara coming back into the attack. Again asking questions to the batter. Skipper Srinidhi again struggling. I'm sorry, that was Ritvika. she's hitting that back of length mark. And she has a fielder placed right there in the gully region. So she's bowling to her field very nicely, sticking to the plan.
Well, bearing in mind that in her first over, she bowled 5 wides. Yes, she took a wicket, but she was expensive from the standpoint of giving up extras. But she seems to have corrected that. In the last several overs, she's been a lot better. This is going to be her last over and only conceded 10 runs so far.
And this time played in the gap. Be interesting to see if they come back for the second. And they do come back for the second easily. Very well played shot by Ritvika. That's more fuller, that delivery in its length.
The clean pick up and throw there by Nikardoshi. Take a look at how close this is. Oh, I think she may just have gotten over the line. Even that had been a direct hit, I think she would have been fine.
Drop shot of length straight to the fielder in the backward point region. No run there. Again.
You said it. She's bowling to her field, isn't she? Keeping the ball outside the line of off stump. That same length with a straighter line gives up runs on the leg side. But that's a good adjustment on her to keep that ball outside the line of off stump.
Yep, she's just hitting constantly that spot. And this time, slightly deviating away from that line. Bowl to the pads. Easy single there for Ritvika and Texas Legends. 1 ball remaining in this over. Skipper Srinidhi is back in the strike, batting on 2 right now, 12 deliveries. She would definitely like to up that ante. Again, nicely driven, but very well fielded by the fielder in the cover region. Just a single there. And 4 runs of that over. After the end of 8 overs, Texas Legends are now 42 for the loss of 1 wicket. They need another 90 runs in 12 overs. The par score right now, as showing on our screen, is 44. Five runs and over. How do you see that going from here?
7.5 and over is hard from here. You would have to increase your run rate, your actual run rate, by over 2 runs per over. There is the pressure of Duckworth-Lewis. You know that the coaching staff would be passing along the information about where you are in relation to the par score. All of that builds pressure. And so that puts you in a bit of a tricky position here.
The new bowler introduced into the attack is Aradhya Kaushal, bowling from the northern end. Aradhya is a leg spinner. Bowling her mark. Slight adjustment in the field. Aradhya, she has a long on, a long off, a deep square leg and a deep mid wicket. She flighted delivery, played in the gap by skipper Srinidhi.
It's a good looking delivery in terms of the length. The ball or the line was a little bit too wide for me. So a couple of runs to start over number 9. That same length with a straighter line, I think, is what you should be aiming at.
Kane played off the back foot. I would say that was a very sloppy effort there. Good hustle by the fielder. 2 runs there. We'll have a look at that in the replay. Again, played it off the back foot.
Consecutive 2s to start over number 9. And as a leg spinner with the ball turning away, you really need to be on off stump to start. Or As you see now, they're moving one of the fielders on the offside, sweeping. In other words, pushing that fielder back on the rope.
Yep.
That, with the fielder on the rope, is not a bad delivery. So let's see how she goes from here.
Very well bowled. Nicely tossed up this time. She brought the deep square leg fielder in and sent the cover fielder back into the sweeper cover region. Okay, this time moving around this, shuffling around the stumps. There's Srinidhi. Nicely swept. Be another 2 runs. Trying to create some opportunity for herself to hit those shots.
Well, we'll see as they've gotten through the last several overs how they've progressed to the point where they're needing to start accelerating. 68 for 2 is where DC Titans were after their 9th over. A dot ball here means that you have 20 fewer runs than that with 1 ball remaining. So you've fallen behind. It's now time for you to start looking to start making up this gap.
Yeah, that ball looked like released with like an upright seam, like a seam bowler. Stepping down the ground, Srinidhi laid it in the gap. Very well executed shot. What a shot, I would say, for me. For this innings, I would say that looked like the shot of the day. Created room for herself, played inside out. Very well executed. She saw that the fielder was more squarish rather than being in the sweeper cover region. And played it in the gap. Very well executed shot.
Certainly going inside out. End of the over. 10 runs coming from the over. And that shot bringing up the 50. So 52 for 1. That feels like a little bit of a momentum shift. And that's what you want to see more of. This partnership now just starting to pick up steam. It is now up to 43. And looking to see how you can put the foot on the gas as you go through the remaining 11 overs.
They need another 80 runs in 11 overs. Also, they are well above the par score, just showing 50 right now. Their Kaushal conceded 10 runs in her first over. A new bowler being introduced into the attack is Tanushri. She'll be coming from the highway and the southern end. Tanushri Vishal. Another leggy. She's coming from the southern end. So 2 leg spinners bowling in tandem from both the ends. It's a pretty loopy flighted delivery. Another good delivery and batter at the non-striker end. Srinidhi, her skipper wanted that single, but Ritvika not interested.
I think that would have been suicidal. So probably right to have sent her back there, Ritvika. 31 from 32, Srinidhi 13 from 19. Looking eager to get back on strike.
Time nicely driven down the ground. Hustle for the fielder there. Just a single. Ritvika Curry batting on 32 of 33 deliveries, and skipper Srinidhi is batting on 13 of 19 deliveries. And that was way above the height, waiting for the umpire signal. No ball, and that's a 6. No ball and a 6. So it will be 7 runs. Making the most out of that delivery.
Oh,
Look at that shot.
bit of a filthy delivery, it has to be said. No control over the length. Looking for the Yorker length ball, but getting it horribly wrong and over pitching it. It does take an expert piece of batting to hit a full toss like that for 6, and then the bonus is that you get the next delivery as a free hit.
Yep. Stepping down the ground, again playing it inside out over the extra cover region. What a shot.
Well, the runs are flowing now, so 10 came from the last over. You see that lovely shot up and over, extra cover. Goes away for 4. So runs are absolutely flowing. The last 10 balls have yielded 22 runs.
Yep, Skripa Srinidhi looking in great touch right now. 2 boundaries and a 6 for her. Batting with a strike rate of 109. This time played it in the gap in the cover region. Chase for the fielder and very well fielded. Good stop there. Definitely saved 2 runs for her team. Dropped the length a little short on this delivery.
The length was not perfect, but the line for me was the main issue, and that's a great piece of fielding. That's really, really well done. Look at that. Pulling that one just before it goes over the ropes. That's Sahita Magula. And that is a dot that closes things out. End of over number 10, halfway through. Oh, this is interesting. Halfway through the chase in terms of the overs and in terms of the runs. 66 without loss, or 66 for 1. They need 66 in the next 10.
That's interesting. They're just halfway mark and half of the runs have been scored for the team. The par score showing on our screen is 56.
Go buy a lotto ticket. Go buy a lotto ticket. This moment is a first. Par score, the par score just changed. It now says 56. But that's even more interesting because the Legends are now ahead of the par score. So the DC Titans now have some work to do to get caught up. However, if you get yourself in the position where you get to play an entire match, in other words, if there's no interruptions from the weather, the DC Titans might just consider that they could potentially take control of this game by breaking this partnership that is now worth 57. Now going to be Dhriti Chamakura into the attack for the first time as we're getting ready to be in the second half of the innings, the 4th innings of this first day of the 5th edition of the Women's Houston Open 2026. And things are just getting as close as, maybe a lot closer than the team on the field would like. Oh, this one goes down the leg side. 3 runs here. And it will go for 2 in addition to the wide. So 3 wides total. And there's the signal from umpire Myron.
Wide signal by the umpire at delivery. 3 extra runs there. With the right arm medium fast, bowling from the northern end. Slight adjustment in the field there. She moves the fielder from the third man region to the fine leg region.
Good delivery, good comeback ball. So the idea is to stay in that range. Get that ball on that off stump line, just short of length, and make the batters have to do the work. So it'll be interesting to see, as this partnership has now grown to 60, whether this pair can continue pushing their team toward a victory. In the air, a couple of bounces down to Nikardoshi, who fumbles it, but 2 runs I think was always going to be on.
Nikardoshi looks disappointed with her own effort there. 2 runs there. These extra runs definitely make a lot of impact. In full
the
pitch.
leg side just for a dot. Talking about Nikardoshi from Apex, North Carolina. I think it's interesting that she described herself as an opening top order bat who can contribute exceptionally in the field. Also currently part of the USA Women's U19 squad and scored the Women's U19 tour in the West Indies last August. So talked about her prowess earlier on, and that gives you a sense of how good a player she is.
Yeah, it tells you how much she regards or values the importance of fielding in the game, and we could see her reaction when there was a slight fumble for that second one. She missed that. She was not happy with her own effort. And this time, as we see her here charging towards the ball, nice hustle there.
I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but talk about how important it is for the fielders in the deep to charge the ball like that.
Definitely, as we saw this ball, for example, it's always kind of, if a ball is traveling at that speed, you have to always charge at the ball to kind of intimidate the batters, or in a way challenge the batter that,
Yep.
hey, I'm kind of like coming towards that ball, try to steal another single if you can. And I'm going to throw at the stumps, or I'm going to get you run out. So that's the
Exactly
exact
right.
attitude how it should be.
You're 100% right. That's a good delivery. Played into the offside, no single there. And a great over, despite the start of the over where she conceded 3 wides. Only 6 runs total come from over number 11. 9 coming up, 60 runs needed. It will be close.
It's definitely, I think this game is going to go down the wire. That's how it looks like. The good thing is, Texas Legends, they have 9 wickets in hand. They have all the wickets in hand. This partnership is looking really solid. Srini, the skipper, batting on 25 right now of 24 deliveries. Ritvika Curry is batting on 35 of 38 deliveries with 4 boundaries. The power score is 62, so they are well above that power score, Texas Legends. Mind you, saving those wickets, that also plays a lot of importance or role. It's because they have those 9 wickets in hand, that's why that power score looks a little below at this moment.
Well, if you are 10 runs ahead of the par score, that speaks to a couple of things. Number one speaks to, as you pointed out rightly, the fact that they've only lost 1 wicket. And this partnership now worth 63. It also speaks to the fact that you can essentially play positive yet risk-free cricket the rest of the way. In other words, look at all those gaps. There is a gigantic gap on the leg side between short mid wicket and then deep backward square leg. You can run 2s and 3s in that direction all day long if you get 1-2 straight. So the whole point I'm making is that there are many options to be able to score here, and all you need to do is just bat with sense, sensibly, if you will, and then to me the game is yours to lose.
Yeah, it would be. We have seen how these 2 batters have dissected the field while creating opportunity for those singles, doubles. So they add a lot of importance to your scorecard, those runs. New bowler introduced into the attack is Anahita Mohan. She'll be coming from the southern end.
Well played. Quick single taken. Tell you what, that ball raced off the bat, didn't it?
Yep. Nicely using the pace of that delivery, because that was bowled with a good considered amount of pace, and nicely just guided the ball to the backward point region.
And that's what I'm talking about. There's no reason to take any risks. Just open the face, run that ball to a backward point, take a single. That shot will always produce that result every single time. And then if you get one that's a little too straight, tickle it around the corner. There's so many options of scoring runs right now. More of the same there. Played into the deep for a single. So a couple of singles to start over number 12.
Easily just guiding that ball, bread and butter for Ritvika Curry. For Srinidhi Sigaraju, beg your pardon. Just easily guiding that ball using the pace and the line of that delivery. And driven down the ground. That was a full toss.
Three
Straight to the fielder in the long on region.
3 balls, 3 singles is what you have here. And I will tell you, this, I said it earlier, that's going to be their game to lose, the Texas Legends. This start to the over is exactly what you're looking for.
Yep. That's the kind of the start they wanted. They started a little slow, but then how Ritvika Curry and Srinidhi built this partnership, it's really commendable.
Oh,
Again,
cheeky. Absolutely cheeky. Deep third is in position, so that will only cost 1 run, but that is a really good-looking shot. So 4 singles from the first 4 balls of over number 13. Take a look at this. Ah,
great presence of mind there, I would say. Waited till the last moment. Just opened the face of the bat at the last moment.
this partnership really blossoming very, very beautifully. Similar type of shot, similar result to backward point. So 5 singles from the first 5 balls of over number 12, and that's exactly what they need to be doing.
And if you look at all those 5 deliveries, they have almost played it in the same region. Mostly just not doing much. And as you said, playing risk-free cricket. They're just playing the ball on its merit, guiding it, taking those easy singles. Nicely driven, straight to the fielder.
To close things out over number 12. 5 runs gets you 5 closer to victory. End of over number 12, 77 for 1.
They need another 55 runs in 8 overs. Really just 7 runs and over, basically. The end of. And since we've been doing a side-by-side comparison, Ryan, do you see what was the score of DC Titans after 12 overs?
After 12, DC Titans 74 for 3. Remember, they slowed down tremendously after the loss of Nikardoshi and Akshar make that Adyarawat. So that slowdown allows for the Texas Legends to now make up the gap. So they are essentially ahead in this game in all levels, in terms of what the par score is and in terms of what the comparison between the two teams at this respective stage of the innings. Played down the ground here as it's going to be Dhriti Chamakura to bowl another over, her second.
And we saw something nice and new for the first time for the day, the sun coming out. What a welcome sign. Eventually, we finally see sunshine in this day, which we haven't seen since morning.
I mean, rain is threatening, has been threatening all day, but we have not yet seen a drop. Appeal for a catch. Umpire Myron James is not interested. Take a look at this.
That was pretty close to the bat. Only a snickometer can tell us.
What to say? Really good camera work, but that's all we can rely on is camera work. A snickometer. I don't think Hassan has the budget for a snickometer just yet. In the air, deep mid wicket, nobody out there, and it will run away close to the boundary. Diving attempt is in vain. It goes away for 4.
Great execution. Great timing. Yeah. Although she didn't complete that full flow of the bat, she just checked the shot, but the timing was so good. Eventually traveled to the boundary. A welcome boundary for Srinidhi. She moved to a score of 31 with that boundary.
Well, this is a really good partnership developing. Ritvika Curry, 39 from 42. Srinidhi now striking it above 100, 31 from 29. 31 from 30 after that dot ball. But just another 50 needed from 44. With 9 wickets in hand, 50 from 44 feels like advantage to the batting side.
It definitely feels like an advantage to the batting side.
Straight down the ground this time. Nikardoshi Will not take her arm on. Good piece of work, but again, single at this stage is really all you need. Couple of loose deliveries, you cash in on those extras. All those help push you toward the target that you're looking for. Just now 49 needed from 43.
Yeah, Skipper Srinidhi looks very well settled in that last ball. We saw how she moved across her off stump. She was anticipating that short delivery.
Oh, should have been fielded. Gets through short cover. Disney Kardoshi fires to the strikers, the non-strikers end rather, but not even she can prevent the second run there. So 8 runs coming from the over. Again, scoring at a rate above what they need to win this match. The Texas Legends at the end of 13, 85 for 1.
Yeah, they need another 47 runs in 7 overs. It's almost like 6.2, 6.3 runs an over. They're well above the par score.
Or 6.71 if you want to be specific. Well, if you're the DC Titans, you need to break this partnership. It is now worth 76. And they have built themselves a really nice launching pad. There really is no need to do anything rash. Nishka Ramaneni will be coming back into the attack. She's bowled 2 overs already. Now asked to bowl over number 14. Her 2 overs so far. Over number 5 that went for 5 runs, and over number 7 that went for 3 runs. So conceding an economy rate of 4 is a really good place to start. And starts here with a dot.
Yeah. Going back to a conversation, Brian, earlier before this match, we were saying like how the surface would turn out eventually. And during the break, I saw the roller they rolled was not a heavy roller. And since I've played here like 40 over games, I've seen the surface remains pretty similar, and it is eventually turning like a batting paradise for the team right now, batting second.
In the air and taken. Short extra cover is in the right spot. Takes the catch. The big partnership is broken. That is the end of Srinidhi. Sagiraju, the captain, 85 for 2.
And that's the breakthrough that DC Titans were looking for. And do we see a change of momentum here? Slightly shifting. Only time will tell. But nevertheless, that's a great breakthrough for them. And skipper Srinidhi departs after scoring 32 valuable runs, 3 boundaries and a huge 6 in that innings. Batting with a strike rate of 100.
Well, any chance for the DC Titans to win this match would have meant, or would have included, breaking that partnership. It was a gigantic partnership worth all of 76 runs. But breaking that partnership may just give them a sniff here, as it's going to be a new batter in Haider, I believe. We'll get that confirmed shortly, but in to face her first delivery. Clipped into the leg side. Oh, took off a little bit belatedly. And they get a single. Not the most assured of ways to get off the mark, but she does get off the mark.
Yep. And that's Arna, is the new batsman. Arna Kalapala, who's also the wicket keeper for Texas Legends. It was a great effort to reach her mark on the non-striker's end. Diving effort.
Lovely shot. Played away, racing across the turf. Look at that diving stop at deep backward point. That is excellent, and that absolutely saves 2 runs.
Yeah, have a look at the replay. Again, played in the same region, nicely opening her face of the bat. What an effort there. 200% effort there. Very well fielded. Definitely saved 2 runs, 2 valuable runs for her teams there.
Adira Watt with the excellent piece of fielding. Full toss, no ball yet again. They'll get an additional run, a bye, but once again, we've seen that happen a few times already today. And that, unfortunately, is going to be another free hit.
Yep. She already got a wicket of this over. Eventually, a lot of things happening in this over. It's not the kind of end she'll be expecting for this over. A slight fumble there. Umpire calling it a dead ball.
Well, you cannot, under any circumstances, bowl those types of deliveries. I think that's pretty apparent by now. The free hit here, skied in the air. I think the keeper will be the one looking to take the catch. I'm not sure where the batter is going. You cannot be out caught, but you can be out run out. Luckily for her, she gets back in the crease. That is taking an unnecessary chance.
Well, I would say that effort looked pretty sloppy. Could have been a catch if the wicketkeeper made it there in time.
Well, the catch would not have mattered because it's a free hit. So, under those circumstances, I'd just as soon love to see the ball fall short and you live to fight another day. This is lofted down the ground. It will clear mid-on, land in front of long on. They get a single.
And that's the end of the 14th over. Texas Legends are now 91 for the loss of 2 wickets. They need another 41 runs in 6 overs.
.41 needed from the last 36 balls. So, in theory, not a steep ask. If you're the DC Titans, you've just broken the big partnership, but you need to figure out a way to get another wicket, and you'd probably prefer that the wicket that you take would be Ritvika Kari, who is on 43 from 45. And so you do have a lot of work to do here. It's going to be Anahita Mohan who comes back into the attack to bowl over number 15. Your strategy as a bowling side right now, DJ?
The only thing as a captain, I would ask my bowlers is just bowl in the right areas, trust yourself, and don't try to do anything extraordinary. Just bowl in the right areas. Try to restrict the batters. Just hit the right line and right length. Just do the basics. That's it. Because there's not much to defend at this moment. And also an important consideration is they have 8 wickets in hand. So
8 wickets in hand, yes, but my goodness, somehow you'd have to think, because this is lofted in the air deep on the leg side and it goes all the way for 6. That is a clean strike. It was not as bad a ball as that shot made it look.
yeah, there was an opportunity created. There's a chance of catch there. To me, it looked like the fielder was not close to the boundary. She was standing maybe 2 or 3 steps. Yep, as we looked there. Maybe if she was standing in the boundary, it would have been more easier for her to take that catch.
As they say, palmed it over the crossbar. So that's a 6 to start over number 15. Better ball to the second ball of the over. But going back to that catch, obviously from where I'm sitting, I'm blinded. So I only saw it on the replay. If she's back on the rope, she takes that at chest height. Looking at this replay again, yeah, completely misjudging it. If she's back where you'd like for her to be, back on the rope, that easily would have been taken.
Yep.
Run out opportunity. Oh my goodness, it's a fumble. They could have had a run out at either end. Not the best of running between the wickets, but they end up stealing a run.
Yep. Adding salt to the wound.
Yep.
Basically, a dropped catch, a 6, and then a run out miss. Yeah, she was gone by miles. Yeah.
Gone by a mile. DJ, no more sun. That cold wind is coming in from the south again. Yeah. Weather will be a factor.
Definitely. And when you get hit for a six in the first ball of the over, that definitely puts pressure on the bowler. 2 balls remaining in this over.
No question. So it becomes a lot closer now. 33 needed from 32. A run a ball, just over a run a ball, wins you this match. But as a bowling unit, you cannot afford any extras, no wides, no more full toss, no balls. Everything has to be bang on target. In the air, landing short of Nicardoshi at long off. That single bringing up the 100. And so just 32 needed from the last 31 balls.
Yeah,
This, to me, feels like advantage batting side.
definitely. Arna Kalapala showing how fiercely she can hit the ball.
Too straight, cannot bowl that line, and she is punished. Put away behind square for 4. 4 that closes out an expensive over, 13 runs coming from it. End of over number 15, just 28 needed from the last 5. Scores 104 for 2.
Yep, Ritvika Curry with that boundary moving close to her 50. She moves to a score of 48 now, of just 47 deliveries. 5 boundaries already. We are into the last section of this game, just 5 overs remaining.
You
and
realize by saying that you just jinxed her.
Yeah, basically, they need.
If she does not get to the number that you just said that I won't say, I'm going to have her blame you. In fact, we may clip that one highlight and just send it to her.
Well, I would eventually wish and pray that she gets to that mark.
Yep, too late. The jinx has already worked. And you will see how well the jinx works after she gets caught on 49.
Time to break that cycle. Let's see. Texas Legends need another 28 runs in 5 overs. It's getting really dark here. And a dot ball to start the over. The par score after 15 overs, as showing on our scorecard, is 90 right now, and they're well above that par score. Starting the over with a dot ball, Anaita Mohan bowled 2 overs, conceded 10 runs, and picked 1 wicket. Arna Kalapala on strike. Played it in the air. Oh, that was a great effort, and the ball goes to the boundary.
A great effort indeed. She had to go for it. You have to take wickets. You're not going to restrict this team to something like 130 for 8. So she had to go for the catch, but having gotten there, I think she'll be disappointed that she did not put that catch away.
Yeah. Definitely. It's all about judging the ball and holding your nerves during these crucial moments. And width offered. Batter requesting the umpire. If that's not a wide, umpire says no, not a wide, not interested. Three balls remaining in this over. Texas Legends need 24 of 27 deliveries. This time, big heave. Trying to have a big slog there, but didn't quite connect. Just a single to the mid-on region.
I've said it a few times.
Strike.
Said it a few times, but you feel that cold wind, and you know that the weather is just a few, probably less than an hour away. So you want to get through the remaining part of this match as soon as possible.
Sliced it to the cover region. Another single there for Ritvika Curry.
Pretty straightforward game from here, isn't it? Just another 22 needed. in the last 25 balls. And no question that the batting side, the Texas Legends, are on top. Oh.
Okay, nice shuffle there. She had a quick trigger movement in her batting, and she was anticipating the ball to come closer to her and ends the over with a single. And as the equation stands right now, Texas Legends need another 21 runs in 4 overs, 111 for the loss of 2 wickets after 16 overs. Aruna batting on 16 of 12 deliveries. Aradhya coming back into the attack. She conceded 10 runs in her first over. The leg spinner will be bowling from the northern end.
Didn't bowl as badly as 10 runs in an over would suggest. A couple of twos to start her over. Second of which was off an outside edge, but conceded a boundary off that last ball of the over. So more of what she did in the first part of that over would be what she'd want here.
And to add more to the worries, started that over with a wide. Another wide, adding to the extras. Played it in the air. Created an opportunity, but straight to the fielder in the deep mid-wicket region. Just a single there.
Oh, you said straight to the fielder. She actually had to reach back against the direction in which her body was moving to be able to field that. So that's a great piece of work by the captain, Ade Rawat. And every little bit helps at this stage.
And with that single, finally Ritvika Curry reaches 15 style. And looks like they've broken that cycle. Ritvika Curry with that single where we are saying
and the happiest person in this facility is the man seated to my right. So the attempted jinx did not work. What an excellent innings.
And nicely swept away. This time misjudged by the fielder in the deep square leg. That ball spun. But nevertheless, a great execution of that shot. Ball was in the air for a while.
I think you're exactly right. That ball spun away to her right. The fielder at deep square leg not able to properly negotiate the spin. And the ball really was just a little too straight, wasn't it? Just on the pads of the batter. And that's easily put away. The partnership now being a lot more dangerous than you would think, especially given the loss of the wicket before. Now we're 33.
Stamp played the ball in the air. And that's a huge 6. Aradhya Kalapala. She can pack a punch as she has shown today.
Once again, if the fielder is back on the ropes, this is a catch. Maybe I'm being too harsh. If she's on the rope, it probably still goes for 6, but not the best piece of judgment. But again, in this instance, it probably would not have made a difference. Just 8 runs remaining for victory now here for the Texas Legends.
Definitely Aradhya Kalapala. I'm sorry, Arna Kalapala. Basically, great execution of power hitting here. 27 of just 15 deliveries. And another big hit. Another 6. Back-to-back 6s. We are witnessing some great, insane talent of power hitting here. Arna Kalapala looks pretty small in size, but she can definitely pack a punch.
That is the 4th 6 of the innings. Second one in this over to go along with 10 fours for the innings for the Texas Legends, and now just 2 runs separate them from a pretty dominant victory.
Yep, they're very close to that victory. Only 2 runs required now. And played in the gap. There'll only be a single, and with that, scores are level now. They just need 1 run to win. Your thought on Arna's innings so far? We can talk about Ritvika's innings, but your evaluation of the impact of her innings.
Well, bear in mind that she came in at the fall of a wicket that broke a pretty big partnership worth 76. And so you've always heard the phrase, one brings 2. So you'd have been thinking, okay, am I going to be the 2 in that equation? But she came out and is striking it at a 200 strike rate, 34 from 17, and really reducing this deficit to essentially nothing. And a really solid effort with the bat to bring her team within 1 run of any flavor of a pretty emphatic victory.
Anaita coming back into the attack. She'll be bowling her final over. Arna on strike. And an easy single to steal that victory. And let me tell all the viewers that Arna was batting with, as we can see her limping, she was batting with a sprained leg, as we saw from the beginning. That's could be the reason that she wanted to go for the big shots. She didn't want to run for singles and doubles. And kudos to Ritvika as well, who played a very important knock of being a sheet anchor there.
Okay, so pretty emphatic victory. The rain is on the way. We will just sign off from here in Prairie Review by saying that a pretty emphatic effort by the batting side, the Texas Legends, bringing victory by the margin of 8 wickets. Most of the damage done by Ritvika Kairi, 50 from 49. Srinidhi Sagaraju, 32 from 33. And the finishing touch is applied by Arna Kalapala. End of the match. See you tomorrow. Hopefully the rain gods will hold off, but we're signing off for the moment right here in Prairie View. See you soon.